Yo, what up, though? It's the word. You see the title. I'm gonna talk about it. But first, do me a favor. It's free to you, but it means a lot to me. Can you hit that like for me? And if you're new, hit that subscribe and turn on the notification bells because when I go live, we get live. All right, so what I usually do here is I talk about my own experiences and what worked for me and what helped me with a lot of different things that I feel that people deal with on a daily basis. So I want to talk about personal growth and evolution. What up, Perk? And how I went through it and some of the things that I used to help me get to where I'm at today. And first thing it was a desire to be more than what I was. I we go through life and a lot of us just coast through it and we deal with things in a way that we deal with them. And I was going through a lot, and I wanted more for myself. So the first thing I did was I had to take accountability. I took accountability for everything in my life, even if I felt like I was wrong. I looked at the situation and seeing what I could do better. What up, sis? I looked at every situation that I was in and seeing what I can do better. How how I could have handled situations. If it was something extra I could have did, I took personal accountability for everything. Like I said, even if I felt like I was the one taken advantage of or being wronged in a situation, I still looked at it to see if it was another way I could have did something. If it was signs that I could have seen in advance. We a lot of times we go through stuff and we look at the situation, even if we feel that we're wrong. We still don't look at what we could have did better, or a decision we could have made better, or a choice we could have made better. A lot of times we just look at it as, okay, this person did this to me. But when you go through something with somebody, you got to understand a lot of times we put ourselves in positions for people to take advantage of it. And I didn't want to do that no more, you know, because that'd be me playing the victim. If I keep putting myself in situations where people taking advantage of me, then it's my fault. So I had to even look at it from that aspect and, looking at things that I did wrong and I knew was wrong, I had to forgive myself, to move forward from it because I found myself continuously beating myself up about mistakes I made. So that's how I took accountability also. And I also took responsibility. Took responsibility for the way that I move forward. Before I spoke, I wanted to be responsible for the words that came out of my mouth. Um, Before I decided to do something, I looked at it for a second and third time to make sure it was the right decision. I took responsibility for any action, word, um, or if I put myself in an environment, I had to be responsible. I had to be responsible for places I went if it wasn't good for me, especially if I'm trying to change. That was my whole desire point. I wanted to change. So if I really wanted to change, I had to almost look at it as if I had an addiction. Um, so I didn't go places where it may make me relapse. Go back to my old ways. Um, I had to be responsible for the people I was around. I don't want to be around people who might bring out the worst in me. Even if it's not intentional. I had to understand that certain type of people, if I wanted to move forward, that I couldn't be around. Environments, people, I had to be responsible for that. You know, and then the last tool I used was humility. And that's one of my greatest tools to this day I use is humility because when you humble, in my opinion, I just feel like you can better accept things for what they truly are. And what I mean by that is through my growth process, through my evolution, I had to understand that some people just wouldn't let go of the person who I was. I had to accept that. I had to accept that no matter how much I did or how much I changed, some people would still always look at me for the person I was. And I had to be okay with that. Um, and in my opinion, that's part of me being humble enough to understand people have the right to look and view things the way they choose to. You know, I had to be humble enough to understand that even the people who seem to change in me, it might take a longer period of time for them to notice that I'm changing. So I had to be humble about that. And I had to be humble for even the people who congratulated me or praised me for the changes that I did make. Because even though they feel that I changed, I understand it's an ongoing process. It's something that um, I'm gonna always be doing. Like I said, it's just like an addict. Like when people think about drug addicts, and they tell you that it's a daily process, even though they clean, it's still a fight every day. And it's the same thing when you're trying to change your personality. When you did something for so long or been some way for so long, um, it's a continuous fight to continue bettering yourself. Because one incident, I can go back to my old ways. So, humility really helped me with that a lot. Just being humble. Also being humble enough to take constructive criticism and criticism. You know, people, I had to be humble enough to understand this. People, there's always going to be someone who look at your flaws versus look at your achievements. There's always going to be people who want to point out the things that's wrong and not look at the things that's right. It's always going to be that. So even my humility, I got to understand that that's going to be there. And you just got to accept it, you know. And with criticism, like I said, even if it's not constructive, even if it's not constructive, just understanding that people, had a right to their opinion, and people go look at things the way they are. And I had to be humble enough to understand these people don't define me. The only person that truly defines you is you. And it takes humility to accept things for what they are. And it sounds probably cocky or confident saying that, but no, it's actually a form of humility. Just being able to accept that people have opinions and they're entitled to them, and they might not be um, your best interest, but at the same time, I mean, why care? Why do we really care when people see the bad things in us and never look at the good thing? No one's perfect. Everyone has flaws. It's easy to see them, and should they be pointed out? If it's, in my opinion, only time that I point out somebody's flaws if they ask and if they willing to accept my opinion. Other than that, it's none of my business. I made a video about Kwame Brown. Salute, Nate. What is this on my screen? I made a video about Kwame Brown, and it wasn't bashing him. It was about an incident that happened, and I was passionate about the incident. And, my father and a couple of my friends called me and said it was clean. Like, you didn't insult the man. You simply just pointed out actions. But the more I looked at it, I understood that, like I said, even though I didn't bash him and I was just pointing out an incident, or he didn't ask for it. So that was kind of me going against myself. So I took it down. And I realized I did it because I was emotional about the subject. I was. I'm not gonna lie. I was emotional, um, and I made a video. And when I realized it, I took it down. And like I said, ain't nobody perfect. I realized what I did out of emotions, and I corrected it. Do I feel sorry for it? No, I don't feel sorry for it. What up, facts? Do I feel sorry for it? No, I don't feel sorry for it. But at the same time, I just took it down because, it was against what I said. And it could have sent me, I could have got comfortable with that decision I made, and could have started doing that. And it's against what I'm saying. So that's what I use. I use humility. That's my greatest tool. I use personal accountability, responsibility. And with those tools, I was able, and I'm still able to define myself and recreate myself. I get to determine who I am and how I want to be. I'm happy I ain't got no breasts. Oh, that's cool, bro. Dubs, what's up, man? Appreciate you coming through. Yeah, anybody can hit the link. I'm just talking about personal growth and accountability and the things that I use and how I keep going forward. And it's like I said, you get tested every day. People will. There's gonna be people who don't want to see you grow. Won't accept your changes, but that can't define you. That can't stop you from. It's a distraction. So stay focused and keep moving forward, because it's one slip up and you back at the starting line. You got to start all over. Just one slip up, and I had a couple of those, on my journey, and that's how I learned. The more I messed up, to be honest with you, the more I messed up in life, the more I learned about life. I'm just blessed that I didn't do something to the point where I couldn't come back from. I'm lucky. I never. I don't even want to say that, but I just say I never put myself in a position where I couldn't bounce back. You know, and it's not easy. It's not easy, because, like I said, you test it. If I can live like a Buddhist monk, I'd be the perfect human. But I do got to interact with people. When you interact with people, you face a lot of different. I call them demons. You face a lot of different evils, and you don't even know things are evil until you encounter them and experience them. And then you realize this ain't good for me. So a lot of times we got to go through stuff to understand it, and that's why I'm not hard on people about their past at all. Especially if they moving forward and learning from their past, I'm not hard on people at all. You know, I give people benefit of the doubt. That's like when I talk about black privilege. We need to give each other the benefit of the doubt. I mean, and I'm not naive. You know what I'm saying? I'm not telling nobody to be naive or open, because I'm not. But what I'm telling you is, at some point, we gotta start supporting one another, especially when we see one another trying to do the right thing, because it's not easy. Our backs up against the wall, and when you see someone trying to change or trying to do better, we got to support them. Because if we don't, like I said, it's easy to backslide, but it's harder to backslide if you got people there with you. helping you, you know, and we got to do that because ain't nobody else gonna do it for us. Ain't nobody else gonna do it for us. And there's opportunities, like I know Perp, you was in here, but you helped me make that video. But adversities, we all go get, especially when you're trying to change, we all go get opportunities to show how much we change. And that comes with adversity. There's going to be situations that pop up to test us. Blackbird, yeah, Nate. I told you, bro. I went to the back of the Jamaican store and the Chinese dude, he said he was out, so I couldn't get the plan B. He said he'd be back in stock next week, but so we'll be back and popping. Only 50% chance, though. That's all I can guarantee you. You might or you might not. But yeah, see that's people, Nate the Great. Always throw flowers at his feet, you know. Um, that's one of the brothers. That's what I'm saying. Like, he'll be there to support you and pat you on your back. That's what we got to do. We got to support one another. What's crazy, society is the only people who won't allow you to move on. Right. You will make errors along the way for sure, but you got to have faith first and surround yourself with good people. Exactly. Exactly. And that's what, and you know what too, Dub? That was one of the hardest things, is because when you changing, um, no one is no instruction manual, right? No one really told me, like, I guess they did. The old folks always say, "Watch the company you keep," but they didn't break it down and explain to me, like, because when you changing, sometimes you got to change your whole environment. I had to change my whole environment. Like, I wouldn't, if I stayed in the hood, I wouldn't be this person. I couldn't be. If the environment wouldn't allow me, I had to survive. You know, I had to survive. I mean, even when I changed, when I stopped, stopped being in the street, start going to school, bro, I still had to wear a vest to work because people was jealous and mad. People felt like I took food off their table because I ain't doing what I'm doing no more. Like, bro, I didn't gave you everything that I had. You messed that up, and now you mad at me. And I got to go to work because they know where I work at. And I don't know where y'all at, but in the D, I mean, you can get caught lacking easily. So it's like I couldn't change. I had to go. I had to put something on my chest, and I'm going into work. I'm not in the street no more. So I had to change my environment, and I had to move out the hood. And when I did that, it was an adjustment. It took a while for me to be more relaxed. I'm always aware, but I can relax now. I'm not on 10 no more. When a car come down the street, I ain't waking up, peeking out the window, trying to see who it was. You know, so I had to change mine. Then I had to change the people I was around. I had to change the places that I went. It was a lot, and it's hard at first because it's like, these my people, these my places. But when you want better, you got to do better, and that's one of the hardest things. And then you hear people saying, "Oh, he fake, he changed, he this, he that," and at first it get to you because you done built up this whole persona of who you are, you know, and you want your. I mean, I work for that cred, I work for that name, you know, but if you want to change, you got to let that go. You got to let the old you go. Like I study, like Buddhists. I don't know if y'all know what the text is called, the Dashin, but in studying that, it tells you that you have to. When they talk about like death and resurrection, in the I use the Bible in the metaphysics. Jesus died and came back, and the death and resurrection. You have to kill the old you so the new you can be reborn. You have to kill that old you. That old you has to die, because if it don't, that new you and that old you will be at constant conflict. it'll be a constant conflict. So I had to kill the old me. I had to let that one go, and it's never really gone, right? Um, it's never really gone, but you have to accept that that's not you. You have to accept that because if you don't, I mean, it's just gonna be them triggers. Especially like when you in the street, you know how that go when people calling you soft. You like, bro, it's just something in you that make you want to prove yourself. You know, I had to stop proving myself to people and prove myself to me. You know, it was more about proving myself to me now versus trying to live up to a persona that um, I created. Definitely have to move on. I got the best advice from people. You'll typically ignore homeless people. Yes, as time went on, I start to learn from my ways to make better decisions for me. Yes, and that's the key. Is making and then when you learn it too, one of the hard parts is this. Um, like especially like I don't know your background, but like coming from the streets, I was more of a reactive person. Because like I said, my whole mindset was survival. My mindset wasn't living. Like now I'm living. I'm not worried about surviving no more. I'm living. So I had to stop being reactive. So I had to take time to think to make those better decisions. Because something happened, I was so used to popping off. But after I had that desire and I wanted to change, and I made some mistakes, but I learned that I got to think. I got to think before I do anything first. We got to think before we act. Don't lose too many brain cells. Oh, well, my brain cells. You're probably talking to Nate, but Blackbird, you get drunk for the first time, bro. My guy turned 21. Happy birthday again, my guy. Happy birthday again, man. Have fun, man, but be safe. Be safe, but have fun. Enjoy it. A lot of people don't make it to 21, bro. So always enjoy life. I tell you that. Always find ways to be happy, but be responsible. You know, having fun for a moment is nothing if you lose your freedom or lose your life. So you can be responsible. Always be responsible. And say you're a young brother. It seemed like you got your I don't personally know you, but just conversations we had, it seemed like you got your head on straight. And then you come in. I see the areas you go in, and they positive. So you're on the right path, man. You're on the right path, and you susceptible to information. That's what I love about you too, bro. So yeah, keep on the path, bro. I was homeless from 15 to 22, from couch to couch, family taking advantage of situations. I mean, yep, I cut them off and moved west and went through the motions of being young and made mistakes. And see, that's a lot of dubs. That's the hard part too, because um, especially when you're trying to change, people know that and they take advantage of you in many different ways. But they take people. It don't matter if it's family or not. People are people. They either good or bad. That's what I always tell people. At the end of the day, people are people. They either good or bad, no matter race, religion, creed, blood ties, anything. And it's hard when you're trying to change and people take advantage of you. 'Cause that make you not trust nobody, especially when it's family. Like even the situation, condition I'm in, my blood did this to me, bro. Last people on earth, I thought the only people who can actually physically touch me, get that close to me to put hands on me is my blood. And that'd be the last people I thought it would have did this to me just because of the way we all grew up. We grew up family tight, family first, but you never know. You never know nobody. And that was a very valuable lesson I learned. Um, and I appreciate every lesson that I learned because I rather learn and I rather learn early than later. And that way I can teach my son and teach my daughter. I've seen too many people lose themselves to drinks. Yeah, Sometimes it's the one closest to you to sabotage, and those be the ones. Like I said, them will be the ones who got the opportunity to do it. Them, the people close to you is always the ones who have the opportunity to hurt you. And I hate to say, um, them the people who you watch the close, but if you, I say like this, it ain't even the fact that you got to watch people close. Just don't be naive and understand everyone has the potential to do anything. Everyone, like even my wife, I could do something to piss her off and she not tell me, and I wake up with some hot water boiling, scolded. I don't know. You never know. A person can hit their head and literally damage their brain and do something they normally wouldn't do, and it's not their fault. You know, a person can catch a what is the name of it? It's a bacteria virus and meningitis. A person can get meningitis and they have temporary mind lapse, and they can hurt you. We had a guy who stabbed his wife, and they brought him in the hospital, put him in the psych ward, found out he had meningitis, and after he got cured from it, he didn't even know he stabbed his wife. And I didn't at the time. I didn't know it affects your brain like that, but it did. So when I say just be aware of everything and everybody, that's just a basic survival instinct. And I mean, when we get comfortable, that's when things happen. So I try not to be comfortable. Period. Started to put it together after falling so much and got around someone who had the best interest, and it was extremely hard to trust after all that. And see, that's the thing. Um, That's the thing. Like this is my concept. This is just me personally. I don't do trust at all. I don't trust nobody. I don't even utilize that whole concept. It's trash to me. I throw it away because it's just been it ain't work for me. So I'm like I don't have to use it. So what I do is faith. And faith has to be built. And if somebody has your genuine interest, they won't mind that. But like my wife, I got faith in my wife, like I got faith in God. But that's what she proved to me. So I don't do trust at all. I don't trust nobody. I don't do it. The people I got faith in, they earned that. I'm not gonna say they did miracles, but it is what it is. I just don't use it. But trust, I mean, when you've been hurt so much and by the people close to you, it's hard to trust people. But then you miss your blessings, you know, and then they won. The people who did hurt you, when you stop trusting people, they won. That's part of the reason why they do the things they do. It's not just to break you in the ways that they're hurting you, but it's to break you to the point where you won't trust nobody. And when that right person come to you, you won't even see it. And when somebody trying to help you, when somebody genuinely trying to help you, they ain't go battle themselves or battle you to help you. You know, like if I'm trying to help somebody and they don't want my help, okay, I keep it moving. So that's the dangerous part. That's why I always tell people don't just because you have bad experience with people, understand that's that situation and that person. Don't close the whole world out because when you do, then you miss your blessings. The creator always send people our way when we need them. It's our job to be able to identify them. Like I believe in a higher power, and that higher power I communicate with. And when I ask for things, it's not, I don't get them in a way most people think. I get them in opportunities. And I think that's how everybody get them, honestly. I think that's just how it works. Like the creator will give us the opportunity to achieve the things or give us the things that we desire. But we still have to walk that path. Like I hear people talk about law of attraction, but it's 10 other laws you got to equate to that. And they all work in harmony and unison. And without those other laws, the law of attraction don't work. You can't just think something and it come to you. It's the way you got to understand the way it comes to you. So, but yeah, it is. that is difficult because we don't like feeling pain. We don't like to be hurt, so our ego protects us from that. And that's one functionality of our ego, is to protect us from the things we don't want. But the ego can hurt us too, because it'll keep us away from everything. If it's a possibility that we can get hurt, the ego will come up. And a lot of times those opportunities are missed because it's our ego, you know. Um, so understanding the difference between the ego and insight or inner tuition, them two totally different things. And a lot of people get the two confused because most people function highly off their ego. That's where that people call it pride. That's not even pride. It's actually lack of self confidence and lack of self esteem. That's nothing to do with pride. We get those mixed up because we not taught those things. But yeah, that's what those are the tools that help me. Humility is the big one because, like I said, being humble opened a lot of different doors for me. I was able to see things just and accept things for what they are. Like I said, everybody ain't gonna see the change that you make. Everybody ain't gonna want you to make the change, and I didn't understand why. If I'm trying to better myself, why ain't nobody willing to help me? Why ain't nobody willing to at least pat me on my back? And my humility gave me the ability to accept things for just what they are. Everybody ain't gonna be there for you, and it's okay. Everybody ain't gonna be rooting for you, and it's okay. Because just focus on the people who are. And that's the big thing I learned too, is to stop worrying about what I don't have and focus on what I do have, because a lot of times, when you worry about what you don't have, um, you end up losing what you do have. You end up losing it because you focus on something you don't have, and the things you do have sitting right there in your face. Like even doing this, I appreciate Platt. Like I said, she always here rocking with me. My sister, I know she probably in the background. I appreciate that. And that's what I focus on. Tanya, salute. Hey, Platt, make I don't know if Tanya got a wrench. Can you put her link up in the chat, please? Yeah, and the links. If y'all see any links in my chat, please hit them. These my people. They good people. Um, they good people. At least check them out. Um, I appreciate that. We're family over here. We support one another. We rock with one another. Um, and it's cool, positive vibes in all our chats. We don't get into the mess. We focus on the positive. You know, Even if like I don't talk about people over here at all. I don't believe it's fruitful, but I believe in talking about situations because that's what we learn from, right? And it's not. We don't always have to go through things to learn from them. We can observe things and learn from them, and that's what I try to do. You know, there's no point of me keep hitting my head on the wall to figure out it's not a door. So that's what I do over here. I don't talk about people. I talk about situations, though. And in doing that, I'm always respectful to the people in the situations because that goes a long way too. Um, because self-respect is reflecting what you have for yourself and to other people also. People don't understand that. Self-respect, it should be reflected, not just to yourself, but to other people outside of yourself. But I'm gonna drop the link if anybody want to come up and add, or feel free to tell your story, or a question about anything that I said. You're more than welcome. Um, but yeah, I wanted to say that especially the part, because a lot of times, on our on our journey to changing or growth or evolving, um, a lot of times that journey can be lonely, because we question ourselves: Are we changing? You know, and then when people don't see it, it's kind of it's deflating. When people don't see the work you put in, sometimes it can be deflating. So anybody who may need to hear this, who currently trying to change their situations, change the way they think, change your behavior, get away from an addiction. I just wanted them to know it's a process. And through that process, you will take nicks, you will take bruises, but just focus on going forward. And anything you did in your past, it's done. That's one of the another hard lesson I had to learn. Your past is your past. It's done. It ain't nothing you can do about it. Forgive yourself, and ask for forgiveness. If people don't forgive you for the things you did, oh well, oh well. You can't do nothing else about it. You can't waddle in it. Mistakes are mistakes. They go be made. And if people ain't willing to accept an apology from you, oh well. Forgive yourself. That's something they got to deal with. Always stay focused on your process. Like I said, some people appreciate it. Some people will try to pull you back and keep you that same person because it make them feel better. I am so happy I ain't got breasts right now. My baby is cluster feeding. Boy, she can be sometimes growth can be a bit like 2 steps forward and 1 step back. You need a bottle? You need a bottle? Baby girl not happy. But you know what, Platt? You're right. You're right. And even that concept, you're right. You'll go 2 steps forward, 1 step back. It's always gonna feel like that. But after a while, you come to a decision like, I ain't taking no steps back. I'm gonna keep going forward, no matter what. And like I said, it's a process. So at first, it's like you get the ball rolling, and like I said, you go make mistakes. But then you hit that next level. Like I just refuse to step back anymore. I'm not like me. I can't afford to step back no more. I'm done. I just understand I got to be smarter. I got to be wiser. So, but you're right. It's a process, and that's how it's gonna be. For me, it was actually 1 step forward, 3 steps backwards. That's how I started off. Like it's not easy. It's not easy. But like I said, a lot of times the more you go through, the more you learn. It's a choice to learn from your mistakes. That's a choice. You have to be aware, and you have to make that decision. Like, look, I know I messed up. What can I gain from it? Don't take losses. Make them lessons. I don't take losses no more. I ain't losing nothing. If something don't go my way, I'm gonna learn from it, and I'm gonna get something out of it. And that's just a decision. It's the way we look at things. And I learned this too. Like, even with sayings like that, it's so common. People say 2 steps forward, 1 step back, and we get conditioned to thinking like that, and we accept it. So when things happen, we're like, okay, this is supposed to happen. No, it's not happening no more. It's not happening no more. I'm not taking no steps back. I'm gonna keep moving forward. Yeah, I'm gonna get nicks and bruises, but I refuse to take a step back. And that's just my mindset now. There's a lot of sayings and a lot of ways we think, and we get complacent, and we get a little comfortable with it too. You know, we get comfortable with it, and we just start accepting things, and we don't have to. You don't have to accept nothing. If you want something, go get it. Go get it. Take it. It's yours. You know, is yours. Opportunities are not missed. They're just taken by other people. You know, you'll never an opportunity that will never pass. It might pass you by, but it's taken by someone else. Someone is going to take that opportunity. So I just look at it like it has to be me. This is like when we was talking about adversity. You know, we look at things like, oh, this is a challenge, this is a trial, this is a tribulation. Now I get excited, like, okay, this is an opportunity. You know, and it's just the way I chose to think. You know, and like I said, it's a choice. It's a process, though. It's not going to be easy to look at adversity as an opportunity at first. But the more you tell yourself this is an opportunity, the more you believe it, the more you begin to look at it like that. You know, I'm not gonna lie, it took a couple years for me telling myself that when I'm going through stuff, it's an opportunity. And I got real good at it. But then when I lost my sight, I've never dealt with nothing like that before. You know, so now this is something totally new. So it took me a while to get to that point to say this is an opportunity. There she go. What up, Platt?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing today?
I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good. I thought I'd pop up here and keep you company until one of the lads takes the link.
Oh, I appreciate that. You know you're always welcome up here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you've told me, and I figure, well, why not? I mean, I know a fair bit about sort of failure and or turning failure into what I deem as failure into a positive, into something advantageous.
Here you go
So
share.
what's that?
I say go share with us. Share some insight.
Well, maybe I'm channeling a little bit of my inner Craig here. Um, but I can almost hear him say something along the lines of, there is no such thing as failure as long as you're trying. Every time you try, you're succeeding at trying. You're doing something.
And that's the
So
key.
yeah, um, and I like to think that you grow a lot based on how long it takes you to get back up after you've fallen or for lack of better words, failed at something. If you can get back up, in point two seconds and go, well, this isn't going to define me. I'm going to try again. Um, every time you do that, you're growing. You're becoming a better version of yourself.
Exactly. You're becoming stronger.
That's right. Um, and I like what you were saying about uh, that instead of seeing everything as a challenge, a trial, a tribulation, all these words that kind of make it seem like we're all Sisyphus, you know,
Hmm.
push, pushing a big bloody boulder up a hill.
Right.
Um, you're saying that it's a um, an opportunity, which is such a positive way of viewing it.
You
Because
you
when
want
you
me to tell you want me to I'm gonna give you a secret. You want me to tell you my intention on doing that?
yes, I would love it.
Um I'm taking out words attached to emotions. And when we use words like trial, tribulations, like you said, it um, attaches itself to lower emotion.
Mm,
So understanding that, I just switched it out and attached a word for the same situation to a positive emotion. So
yeah.
now when I go through stuff, I can look at it from a positive standpoint because I changed the
Mm,
language,
mm-hmm.
and that's a trick. That's how I brainwash myself. Um, and that's how we get influenced through our emotions.
Yeah.
They tell us these things, even with these words. They give us these words, and when we look up the definition, if it's dark or gloomy, that's what we attach it to. So now when we say
Mm,
it, that's how we think, and that's how we approach the situation. So once I
that's
learned
right.
that, I start changing my vocabulary, especially
And that,
within myself. When it comes to how I look at stuff, I had to change my vocabulary.
and that's, and I'm seeing a lot of people doing that more so now. Sort of turning their vocab upside down and inside out, and using words like that I would never sort of associate with certain things. Um, and it's wonderful, and it's made me, because I like to think that I have a great verbiage, if you will,
Mhm.
um, extensive vocabulary, but even I didn't have the sense to look at language and the way that it's spoken and the power that words can have.
Yeah,
Um, because I'm just so used to using my words in a particular way.
yeah,
I've got to rewire my brain and my habitual impulse to sort of say, you know, I don't know, even down to how I greet people.
yeah.
It can have such a positive effect on a person, and those around you.
And
So
words are
yeah,
true
I
spells. Like we really like when we talk to one another, we actually cast spells. That's why I'm careful with how I talk to people and what I say to people. I'm
mm,
very, um, I'm really particular on my word selection because I understand I have the potential to influence people with my words. So if I influence people, I want it to be a positive way. I don't want it to be in a negative light, and that's intentional. You know.
yeah,
But I can only do that if I'm allowed to. And when I understood that, I had to understand I had to put myself in those situations that allow me to flourish the most and do
mm,
what I want to do the most. I had to learn how to put myself in those places and not just go places and think that I can have an effect on every because you can't. And that's where humility came in too. I had to understand that.
yes, yeah. Oh, it's just yeah. I've never thought about it in such a way, and yeah, it's quite exhilarating because there's now another way of for me to express myself, and hopefully in more of a positive way.
Yeah, always. Do you do affirmations? Like when
Um,
you wake up before you go to sleep?
um, Not so much. I I always had the problem of I just felt like I was trying to deceive myself because I'm saying these positive affirmations, and there's that part in my brain that's saying, no, you're shit, and you don't believe this at all. Um, we all have that part of the brain
Yeah.
that perhaps that negative part that kind of wants to keep us down a little bit. Um, so I
That's
always just had a struggle. Um,
Kalani. My bad. I had to give a shout out to Kalani.
hey,
Kalani's in the
Kalani.
building. Appreciate you.
Kalani's good people.
Yeah, I was just over there before I started the show. That's why I pushed the time back. Like, hold on, man, I'm over here grooving. I gotta push this back, but I had to pop up real quick because I had it on my mind, and then later on I got to go chill with the wife. So I said, let me knock this out real quick. But
Yeah.
but I apologize.
Oh no, that's fine. Yeah, it's just that. Yeah, to me, I felt like I was being a little fake for myself, um, because I just knew that I didn't quite believe it. And there is that old adage where you fake it to make it type thing. But I've never been that fake in my life. I just figured that I'm either this way or I'm not. Or I'm good at something or I'm not. And in a lot of ways I have quite a negative uh, what do you call it? Like self-talk.
I'll tell you this. Um, you said something when you said I feel like I'm deceiving myself.
Yes.
Just like I changed that word. Um,
Mm-hmm.
change. Don't just tell yourself I'm reprogramming myself. I got bad
Mm.
programming and I got to repro. That's what I had to tell myself because I felt the same way. Like
Yes.
this ain't gonna work. But I was like, okay, for it to work, guess what? I have to reprogram myself. I know I have bad programming
Yes.
in me. I need to get
Oh
rid of
yeah.
that. And this is how I do it. That's what I put in my mind. And once I did that, I start seeing the effects of it. We
Mm.
have to, and it's with words, like I said, instead of saying, oh, because that's what it feels like. That's how you're connected to that word.
Yes.
Perception is because, like you just explained it. Well, either I'm this or I'm that.
Mm.
Okay, I'm I'm okay. Even like when I say I'm reprogramming, now this is the
Yes.
ideology behind that. I am this way, but I don't want to be this
Mm.
way. I want to reprogram myself. So this is what I have
Mm.
to do as a reboot. It's like a factory reset.
Yes. Yes.
Just look at
That
it.
that that's quite an opportunity.
Yep. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You see what
Yeah.
I'm saying? We got to talk nice to ourselves. You know what I'm saying? We got
That's
to. If
that's
ain't
true.
nobody else go do it, you got to do it for yourself. And I
I'm.
promise you this: once you start doing it for yourself, everybody else will start
Mm-hmm.
doing it. Just like when people say, "How can somebody love you if you don't love yourself?" Same thing. If you're
Yeah.
not being nice to yourself, no one else is gonna do it. And when you are, and when people aren't being nice to you, guess what? You won't accept it. There's a lot of stuff when
Yes.
you don't do stuff to yourself, you won't accept nobody else doing it to you. Like I give out respect to everybody, and
Mm-hmm.
it's for this reason because I demand respect. I'm not taking nothing less. And just
Yes.
because, like, if I feel a person disrespect me, I don't have to
Mm-hmm.
fight you. I don't have to argue with you. I just don't deal with you. It's
Yeah.
too. We put too much energy into things that don't benefit us. You know, like even on
Yes.
this YouTube thing, right? If
Mm-hmm.
somebody was to say something, to be honest with you, if somebody was to say something about me, I might I might respond. I'm not gonna react. I might
Yeah.
respond and say, "Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you said this and that," and I'm gonna just show you where you lied at. And if it's truth,
Yes.
then I can't be mad. If you saying something about me and it's true, I can't be upset
Mm-hmm.
about it. But
Yes.
if you're not, but I'm not about to put no more energy into it. I'm not about to go back and forth with nobody. It's no purpose. You know, other than YouTube, I got a real life,
Yes.
and I'm not on here to make content beefing with people. Like I'm not knocking nobody who make any type of content they do. But me personally, I got family and friends that watch this. So I have
Mm,
a responsibility, just like in the beginning when I was saying when I wanted to change, I had to take
yes.
responsibility for my actions. That's what I do on here. That's why you don't see me jumping out no windows or
Hmm.
trying to. Because no, I'm responsible. I have to be because the way I am in my real life, I'm gonna be like that on here.
That's that's um that's great. That's how
I'm like that.
most
I'm like
people
this
should
all the
be.
time. You know, I'm
It's
like this
just
all the time.
I just know that it's going to be quite an opportunity because I've had uh, the I guess that I've spent a lifetime being self-deprecating
Mhm.
and putting myself down, um, not only because I believed it, but to make other people feel comfortable in my presence.
Yeah.
Um, if I'm putting myself down and certainly not acting like I'm, anything uh, anything better than they are, then they start to settle in my presence. Um, but more often than not, I find that because I'm not valuing myself, they're not going to value me either.
Nope.
And I've, yeah, it's certainly going to take a long time to really rewire what other people have put in my head and then what I've doubled down on and what I've told myself on top of what others have told me.
I want to stop you for 1 second because you
Hmm.
said something. You said it's gonna take a long time. Remember those words. You
Yes,
see what I'm saying?
I
It's gonna take some time, but I'm excited for the process. That's how you gotta say it. That's how you. Because listen, what I'm telling you.
oh
Even
I believe.
when you talk, you're literally
Mm,
programming your subconscious. Your subconscious is picking up every word that you say, and when it picks up the
hmm.
word, what it's doing is downloading it. And when you say this
Yes,
will take me a long time, you're telling yourself it's gonna take me a long time. No, it's not. You know what it's gonna do? It's a process,
yes,
and I'm looking forward to the process. I'm looking forward to the journey.
yeah.
You see what I'm saying? That's gonna make the
I
process easier.
I I do. I do see what you're saying, and I am excited somewhat. Um, uh, it's just it's going to be, you know,
Don't say difficult. It's a
no,
process.
no, no. I dream
Don't
of
say
it.
long time. Nope, nope.
I
No,
need
it's a process, and we
I
know how
need
processes
somebody
go.
I need somebody here with like a taser or something or a cattle prod. Every time I say something, that's even slightly negative, zap me.
You know what?
Um,
Just be aware of what you're saying. You know, be aware of what you're saying. Before you say something, just tell yourself,
mm,
I am aware of my words. It's like I'm telling you, like if you met me when I started going through this, you would have thought I was crazy. I'm dead serious. You would have
mhm,
literally thought I was crazy. Like I said, I studied so much spirituality, so much
yeah,
religion, and then I
mhm,
went into etymology, the creation of words. That's what
yeah,
that helped me out a lot too because I began to really understand the words that I was using. It made me very aware, not only knowing the English definition but the Latin roots of the word. Um, so that's when I began. Like even now, sometimes I say something, then I stop myself and correct myself. Just when you say something, Like when you say it's gonna take me after you make that statement, go back and review it. Yo, okay, let me take this word out of it and say it again. It's a process. Like I said, you used to thought I was crazy because I still talk to myself. Like my wife be like, "What are you thinking about?" Because my mind is racing.
Hmm.
My mind just racing. All these different ideas going through my mind. Where's she at?
In the bathroom.
She in the bathroom?
That's that.
Oh, I'm like, what? You said it crazy.
You gonna pick up the stuff?
Yeah.
No, we don't want stuff. I can come over.
Nah,
I'm like,
nah,
this is
everybody ain't
enough.
coming over. My baby
Hello,
get sick
Mrs.
with her
Word.
phone.
No, they're not sick.
Oh, they could be sick. You never know. They find a day, and I like picking with her. Pick with her every second I get. That's like, you know what? If we wasn't friends first, we would not work because I pick
No?
with her every second. Like like when we talk about words,
Hmm.
I pick every time she say a word. Like I know she get annoyed because that I just do it. It's a habit of mine. I
Yeah.
analyze every word, the structure, the tone of voice. I analyze
Hmm.
everything, and I pick with her all the time. She'd be like, "Shut up, you know what I meant." Like, yeah, but it's funner this way.
Yes.
But see, that's how we challenge one
And
another. You know what I'm saying? Like we should.
that's how, but that's how you're helping her to rewire her brain,
Yes,
but you're
yes,
doing it in a fun way.
yeah. And
You
see,
know, it
like
doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be arduous.
no, and see, that's the thing. Like with my wife, I never say something to her, that's demoralizing or that I know she's sensitive about. I never do anything to hurt my wife.
Yes.
Everything I do, is to build her up. Like even when she get down on herself, like she like I need to lose weight. I'm like, yeah, you just had a
Hmm.
baby, chill out, And then she'd be like, well, I'm this, I'm that. I'm like, look, if you keep talking about my wife, we gonna fight. She
Ah.
looks at you like I am your wife. Well, you keep talking about it,
Yeah.
we gonna fight. So I mean that's how we gotta be. That's how we should be. We should always be uplifting to one another, especially the people
I
closest to us.
I agree. I agree. Problem is that not the problem. There is no problem with this. It's just I need to rewire my brain um, to think differently about it. Um, uh, and now I've forgotten what the problem was. That wasn't a problem because I'm trying so hard to now. Um,
You could use the term situation, because a situation could be either good or bad, but it's potential.
mhm.
So instead of saying problem, I use the term situation. Like it's a lot of words. Like I don't even I use them in context for conversation, but in my
Mhm.
normal vernacular, I don't use them. They're not useful to me, so I just don't use them no more. Like they
Yeah.
don't. The function of the word does not suit what I'm trying to do, so why even utilize it? And
Yes.
that's how I look. And they common words like problem. No, it's a situation. Everything is a situation. It has the potential to either be good or bad. Fact. That's just what it
That
is.
that's true. That's true. When you say situation, I have a situation, or I've been in a situation.
Hmm.
Yeah, and it depends on a person's mindset as well, whether they look at it as, a positive or a negative. Um, yeah, this this will be interesting. I will say that. Um, I look. You'll have to send me. You'll have to send me an email of all the books and stuff that you can think of.
I
That
will be I will be honest with you. I will have you what am I 38? I have already completed 156 books. Um
nice.
and I still have over 300 books to read. Which I
Gee,
can't read the paperback books no more, so I got to get them all
you
PDF.
got to do the audiobooks.
Yeah, either audiobooks or I got, my tablet, I can turn it to black. So once I turn the screen black, the words come up in white and I can read it. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, I read like that too, but I can't like the white screen. Like even now, it's hard for me to look
Mm.
at my computer screen because I haven't figured out how to turn StreamYard to black mode. But
Oh, okay. There's got to
yeah,
be when you come in, there's got to be like click on the settings, and it should um it
definitely.
should be fairly. You would think it would be fairly user friendly.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think they have black mode on here. Camera, virtual background, recording, hotkeys, layout, guess. No, I don't see it. But it's cool. Like I said, I just figure out ways to make things work. Um, but like I said, it's just an opportunity. With me losing my eyesight the way I lost it, it's just an opportunity to me um, to prove that I'm a beast. That I can still do a lot of the things that I thought I couldn't do at first. And like I said, it's a process because, like I said, I thought I had it all figured out, like I was good until this happened. But nothing this significant ever happened to me. So it was a brand new experience, and I had to go through the motions of it. And once I did, it made me stronger, mentally and physically. So it was just another opportunity, and I had
Mhm.
to, like I said, I thought I had it figured out, and I had to continuously reprogram. You always go be presented, because at first I
Mhm.
didn't look at it as an opportunity. I looked at it as fucked up. And I'm just be real.
Yes.
Like I can't
Yeah.
see. I can't drive no more. There's a lot of stuff that I normally do that I can't do no more,
Yeah.
and that was tough, especially like being a
Mhm.
man and being physical the way I am.
Yeah.
Like me not being able to spar and stuff, it that kind of messed me up because I like hitting people and I like getting hit. I know that's kind of weird, but um,
Not at all. You're a man.
yeah,
It's a primal thing.
yeah, I'm one of them throwback dudes though. Like,
Mhm. Right?
I'm one of them dudes who like to, like to prove how strong he is. Like one of them dudes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not like one of the new age dudes. So I'm quiet. I let my
Hmm.
actions speak for me. I don't like to be heard too much, but um, believe it or not, even though I'm on YouTube talking, I don't really. When I go in the room, I'm the silent, quiet, confident one. Looking at
Uh-huh.
everybody else, analyzing
And,
the
uh,
room.
and everybody notices you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Because
Well,
the temperature in the room changes.
yeah, but then I got my wife with me, so um, the eyes come off of me and go on her. I'm lucky
Uh-huh.
enough to have someone that everyone wants to look at. I'm blessed. Because I get
Oh.
to watch her wake up and go to sleep, and
No, that's so
yeah, I'm
beautiful.
I'm blessed, man. I am truly blessed, and
And she's
uh,
blessed to have you.
yeah, she say that until she bossed me around. I'm surprised she
Well,
ain't
she's
say
she's
nothing.
she's blessed that she can boss you around then.
Yeah, yeah. And see, she Middle Eastern, so I thought when I married
Mhm.
her, I'd be bossing her around. Nope, she bossed me
Oh,
around.
what
She is
you
not paying me
wrong?
no attention right now. She is not paying me attention. She's sitting in the living room. So, but yeah, we I'm blessed, and that's what I try to do. I try to spread my blessings, around because I get blessed and blessed more and more every day. When I try to um, put out that positive energy. Well, I ain't gonna say when I try. When I put out that positive energy, I get more blessed
Hmm.
every day. Sometimes they come in opportunities, and sometimes they
Yeah.
just come in gifts. I guess I can call
Hmm.
it.
Well, every everything that you get that I suppose is is free is a gift. Be it whether it's a positive or a negative, whatever. It's all a gift.
Mm-hmm. It is. It
Um,
truly is.
it just depends on what you do with it. Whether
Exactly.
you you get a negative gift. What are you going to do to turn it into a positive, or to learn from it?
Exactly. Because shout out to Doe Eyes TV. She had Dr. Lanonis Bias on there, and
Oh yeah.
her son was a famous basketball player, and he
Mm-hmm.
died when he got drafted. And then I
Oh.
believe she said either it was a couple months or 2 years later, I believe her other son died, and
Oh.
so she lost both of her kids. And instead of her, um, shutting herself out to the world,
Mm-hmm.
she said that she planted those seeds. And now, if you look at her, she a motivational speaker. She helped thousands of people. She turned her negatives into a positive. She used the pain and turned it into muscle. You know, um, it's
That's
just how she looked at it. She took what most people look at as a curse and turned it into a blessing. So I thought that was very powerful. And like I said, shout out to Doa. She put a lot of good content out there. Um, so y'all check
yeah.
out Doa's TV.
I've been
And
meaning to go and check her out.
yeah,
Um,
definitely. Her
I just
memberships.
it's
I'm sorry.
so it's such an opportunity that, and I'm very fortunate um, that I'm subbed to so many new people that I'm trying to like catch them all.
Yeah.
Um, as if they're all Pokemon or
I was
something.
about to say that. See, the
Yeah.
great minds think alike. I was like, you got to get some Pokeballs and start
Yeah.
catching them.
um, so it's just a matter of time management, and
Yeah.
I always like to be here for you, and
Oh, I appreciate you. You already know.
yeah, absolutely. You don't even have to say it. Um, and Nate, and there's a couple of others, but uh, everybody else, it's like, okay, well, I know I've been told that this person's got some wonderful insights into something, so I'd really like to sit down with them. It's all a learning. Like, I'm so thirsty for knowledge.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I've got to have a life as well.
Yeah,
Try and
yeah, yeah. There's no purpose of getting the knowledge if you can't put it into action. So you still need
yeah.
that personal life. But we
Hmm.
got a nice circle on here where there's a lot of great content creators creating a lot of positive content. It's just sad that the rooms aren't as big as the drama filled, rooms.
Oh,
But
yeah.
at the same time,
That's
like
where I came from. I
that's
came
that.
from
I think we all do.
drama, and I came from the drama and the true crime communities. And to be honest, it's hard to decipher which is which now,
Yeah,
because they're all a bit, same. Um, but I had to step away from that because it doesn't it serves no purpose to
no, it
my
don't.
soul. I
It,
can I can feel myself just kind of being an asshole all the time.
yeah.
I don't want to be an asshole all the time. It doesn't suit me.
Now think about this. This is what I try to explain to people, especially people who knew me in my past. Um,
Hmm.
how humble or positive you think I am.
Hmm.
Imagine me on the other side of the spectrum. I was a demon. I'm dead
Yeah.
serious. I was a demon. I would just like I use this newfound understanding, knowledge, or wisdom to
Hmm.
speak positive. I also when I first came into it, I understood how I can affect people negatively with it, you know.
Sure.
And I mean, words can have a bigger impact than a weapon. And I
Profound
understood
effect.
that. Yep. And I understood how to find people weaknesses, and I understood how to hit them. And a lot of times,
Yes.
like I said, it made me feel good for a moment, but
Yeah.
then it made me feel a lot worse later, because
Mm.
I knew I wasn't supposed to be doing that.
It didn't feel authentic for you.
Nope. And then I had to do it again so I can relieve this pain. I had to put the
Mm-hmm.
pain that I was feeling on the inside, I had to get it out and put it on somebody else. Or so I thought, you know.
Ah,
So
wow.
I
Uh-huh.
thought that's how I released the pain, was to give it to somebody else. I get all this pain in me,
Oh,
and guess what? I'm about to give it to you. I'm about to take it out on you. But then I start feeling worse afterwards. So I had to do an internal cleanser. I had to get rid of all of it out of me. And once it was out of me, I felt better,
mm,
you know. And then I noticed I didn't want to be inserted. I didn't want to be around it no more, you know.
yeah.
And that's why I say there's a lot of cool content creators, and I
Mm,
love their craft and the way they do stuff, the energy they put into their work. But sometimes when they making certain type of content, I can't be around it. And there's no offense
sure.
to nobody. It's just those environments aren't conducive for my growth.
Yeah.
So I had to detach
Mm,
myself from it. And I had to be okay if people get upset with that, because some people
yeah.
might feel like I don't support them no more, but that's okay if they feel like that. Um,
Well, you can support somebody, you can love
I
somebody
watch
or
from
whatever, but and be in their corner, but you're not partaking in what
exactly.
in the game or whatever they're
Exactly.
doing.
Exactly. And see, so I watch some from the bushes. I watch for like 10, 11 minutes, hit the
Hmm.
like button, and go to something else. I still give
Yeah.
them the watch or the view, and I still
Yeah.
like the content. It's just I can't partake in that type of environment. I'm not,
Mm,
and I'm gonna be honest, I'm right till this day. I'm not strong enough to put myself in certain environments because I might backslide. If I put myself in certain conditions and situations, I might backslide. So I don't do it. That's how
yeah.
but that's me taking responsibility because I'm aware of my progression and how far I came, but I also know how far I have to go. So I have to take responsibility for the places I go and the things I put myself into. So
Yes.
that's one of the other tools that I was saying was responsibility. That's what I use. Just being responsible for my decision making and the choices I make. You know,
Well, yes, you're an adult and you have to be.
yeah,
What's the alternative? To blame somebody else?
yeah.
I
But see
mean,
that happens a lot.
shouldn't that have been given up, when you surpassed your teenage years? Uh, like it really does beg a belief, beyond belief, that there are so many adults still getting around, you know, in arrested development,
Yeah.
constantly blaming other people for their bullshit.
And that was part at the beginning when I was talking about personal accountability. Even if you're in a
Mhm.
situation and you feel like somebody wronged you, what is your part that you played? It still takes two to
Mm.
tangle. So even if it's you giving them access to you, you have to take responsibility and
Yes.
accountability for that. For even giving this person access to you. That's how we learn and grow. So yeah, I
Yeah.
don't do the victim. I don't have I don't use sympathy at all. That's another thing I threw out. I don't use sympathy at all because this is just my view of sympathy. Um, when you sympathize with someone, you put yourself in their shoes emotionally, and you begin to suffer from the same things they do. Instead of using
Mhm.
empathy, you can put yourself in them shoes, but you only put yourself there to help. You know, if I can't help a person with their situation or give them some insight or some information, then um, I'd be a detriment to them because I will only hinder them. You know,
I
when
think
you sympathize, yeah, when you
there's
sympathize with people, a lot of times you actually hinder them. You make the situation worse.
well, I think that there's um, it's like not so much a fable, but there's like a little short story about some guy who was talking to a friend, and then he fell down a hole, and he's calling up to his friend, um, for help get me out of this hole, and the friend then jumps in the hole
Hmm.
to help their friend get, and now they're both fucking stuck in the hole,
Exactly.
and the friend's like, what exactly is wrong with you? Now we're both stuck here. Couldn't you have just chucked a rope down? And that's why it kind of pays to stay a little bit grounded with people.
Yeah.
You can feel for them. You can help them, but you don't want to be stuck in the same hole that they're in.
Mm. And that's powerful because sometimes, just trying to be a good friend,
Hmm.
and you don't want that person to be alone in the hole, you do jump down there,
No, but
but
you
you
can
don't help
sit
them.
on the edge,
Right.
you
And
know,
took the rope.
on the edge of the hole and talk to them while, you're trying to get them out. You don't have to be in there with them.
You don't have to be. You shouldn't be. Because, like I said, you can't help. If you're in the hole with them, then you can't help them.
That's right.
So there's no purpose of getting in the hole. You want to sit on the edge so you can pull them out. So you can
Hmm.
flag for help. So you can go get help. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to jump down
Yes.
there to be with them so they won't be lonely. No, you want to get them out. That's the whole goal, is to get them out the hole.
Hmm.
I love that analogy. I love that short story. I think I heard that before, or something similar to it.
Yeah, look, it's been around for a long time, and I discovered it maybe 10 years ago or something, when I kind of actually needed it. Um, because because of my upbringing, my childhood, it was that traumatic and that messed up that I couldn't just. I always wanted to just help people. I
Yeah,
wanted to bring a bit of joy into other people's lives, but I couldn't distinguish between the helping and the getting in to the hole with that person. I
yeah.
felt that I wasn't helping unless I was in the hole with them. And then I could really experience what they were experiencing. And I mean, that's some crazy shit.
But you know what? I think like people who genuinely want to help people, I think that's how we all start off because that's how I used to be. Well, let me
Hmm.
better understand what they're going through. Let me feel their pain. That's what I used to think. And then I realized
Yes.
like that shit don't feel good. I'm straight. Let me just help them.
Yeah. Yes.
like, nah,
Yes.
man, I ain't trying to feel no more pain than I ain't got to. Nah,
Hmm.
I can just help you. But then, even then you got to be careful, because everyone ain't seeking help. Sometimes people want you to feel their pain too. I had to
Yes.
learn the difference in that too. Like, you don't want no help. You want me to feel what you feeling, and I don't want to feel it. Why do you?
Uh-huh.
If you like, if I'm like that whole ideology, hurt people, right?
Yes.
Well, I got hurt when I was younger. I
Hmm.
got, and I never wanted nobody to feel that pain. I never wanted nobody to feel nothing that I've been through. Even, the people who put me in those situations, I didn't even want them hurting. You know,
No.
I didn't want them hurting. Um, but then I mean, I had to learn. And that's the
Mhm.
crazy thing. Like, that's how screwed up I was. The people who hurt me, I didn't
Yeah.
want to hurt them, but anybody else can get it. I didn't care. But the people who actually hurt me, I never hurted them.
No.
It was random people. I go out. I remember when I was younger, my stepdad put me through some stuff, and
Mhm.
he hurt me, and I used to go outside and hurt other people.
But
And it's like,
that's
man, I had a form of
that's what
Stockholm
we
syndrome. I ain't gonna lie to you. It's like,
yeah, for sure. But that's what we do though. We constantly unless we're sort of self-aware and we're constantly working on ourselves, we go out into the world, and because somebody has hurt us gravely, we go out and we throw our trauma ball at the next person.
at the next person. Yep.
And then that person throws
Yep.
their trauma ball. And it's pretty much, it's just a game of fucking dodging, not dodgeball.
Stop throwing
Um,
trauma balls. No
Stop
balls.
throwing your trauma balls, people.
Yeah, I'm clipping that. I like that. I never heard them called trauma balls, but that's what I'm still in that. Oh.
You can
'Cause that's
steal away.
exactly that was a
That's,
great analogy, because that's what
thank
we
you.
do. That's what we
Well,
do. We
that's,
go out and throw trauma balls at people because we hurt. You know, that's
yeah.
crazy, man. It don't
Well,
make sense though.
when you think about it, like as children, and you and I, we've gone through some stuff, and the trauma ball starts. I I imagine sort of in the solar plexus, sort of
Hmm.
in that stomach area, and it only starts off small, like like a child, um, a fetus, and it gets bigger and bigger the older we get until it's like a beach ball size, and it just takes one thing for it to come out, and boom, we throw it at somebody, and they like like you would with a beach ball, they hold this thing, and they're like, hang on, why did you throw that at me? I too have my own trauma ball. And
Yeah.
they throw their trauma ball at the next person, and pretty soon, if you visualize it, we're walking around like it's a minefield full of all these trauma balls from everybody, because most of us don't know where to put the pain. We don't
Yeah.
know how to, we've never learned how to sit the pain aside and have it just sort of worked through and kneaded and dissolved over time. Instead, we add more to it. It
Hmm.
becomes all encompassing. And some people end up being nothing but a trauma ball.
Yep.
And that's diabolical. That's
And that
dangerous.
and that's you just summed up society. I mean, um, that's what we think when we throw our ball that is gone and it come back bigger. You
Hmm.
know.
Because somebody will get the receiving end of that ball, and then they'll throw it back, and there'll be some sort of, stoush, and that adds to the trauma. And it just keeps going and going ad nauseum until we die.
Yeah.
So there has to be um, a, a way to stop that. I'm
And,
trying to teach my children to not throw their trauma balls around.
and
Not that
you
they've
know,
not that they've got great big trauma balls or anything, but everybody's got something. Just don't put it on other people. Don't throw your crap at other people, because sometimes it sticks, sometimes it grows. Yeah.
And see that was, like I said, that was a perfect analogy, because um, so many times in life, we just focus on our pain and how we feel, and we
Mm-hmm.
never really consider the next person, what they've been through. We become selfish. And I'm not saying to put people feelings or emotions in front of yours. Just be aware that
No.
that other people have feelings and emotions too. And before you throw that trauma ball at somebody else, recognize that they got it. But you know what? I use another tool. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I would have to say forgiveness.
Ah.
It's a lot of stuff, and it seems like this was my notion of forgiveness. I thought if I forgave someone, I took their accountability off of them for what they did to me. That's how I used to
Mm-hmm.
look at it. Until I learned that to forgive someone is to take back your own power. You know, it's not
Yeah.
taking the accountability off of them what they did to you, but
Mm.
is you taking your power back. Because a lot of times, when people hurt us, that's what we focus on, is the pain that they cause, and we feel they have to we need some type of retribution, right? But so we go through life, and if we never get that retribution, we'll hold on to it. We'll hold on to what they did, and they have now controlled us. And
Yes.
to get that control back is to forgive. But you don't have to forget. Is that saying forgive and forget? No, you don't forget,
Yes.
because you learn from it. I can forgive someone for something they did to me as long as I learn from the situation. My problem
Mm.
is, when I felt I didn't learn from it. It was harder for me to forgive people.
Yes. And
But
sometimes you have to forgive somebody, even though you know that an apology is never going to be forthcoming,
yeah,
ever.
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. You just gotta. It's not for them. It's not to relieve
Mm.
any pressure from what they did. It's to take control back.
Yes.
To stop allowing what they did to you to affect you. That's what the forgiveness is. You're telling yourself,
Mm-hmm.
okay, this situation is over,
Yeah.
but the hard part was for me to walk away and not take something with me. Like I said, if I didn't get retribution, I felt like,
Mm.
um, if something wasn't corrected or made right, I felt like it was unfinished business. But the older I got, and the more I was able to look at things, I understood, like you said, everyone's not going to apologize for the things they did, but I can still get over it. And so I decided to
Yes.
forgive people. And it's a process. Everything is a process. It's
Oh,
not.
yeah.
It's not gonna happen overnight. Like I said, this happened to me 2 years ago. It took me up for a
Mm.
whole year to
Mm-hmm.
forgive the people who did it to me. It
Yes.
took me a whole year, but I'm at peace now. It don't affect me the way
Mm.
it did, because I'm gonna be honest. When it first happened, I wanted blood. I
Yeah.
wanted blood. I felt like you shouldn't be here no more. That's just how I felt.
Mm.
And I had to realize, like, I got a family, man. I can do whatever, or even if I tell somebody, or if someone does something um, to hurt these people, is a possibility I can be taken away from my family, my wife. So what was more important? So, my family was more important. Me being here for my son, me
Mm.
being here for my wife, that was more important to me at the time. And that was before my daughter came. So for me to heal from it, I had to forgive him and let it go and move forward. And now I don't even think about it. I don't think about what I wanted to do or what should have happened. I just move forward with my family.
And I
You
think
know,
that process though looks different for everybody.
Yeah.
It's not a one size fits all
Nope. Nope. And it's not
situation.
easy. It's not easy. It's not, I promise you, it's not easy.
Because
Like I said,
I've been working on this process, I think, particularly the forgiveness for what happened to me, stuff that happened to my mom, just so much that, and so many people I have to forgive that, yeah, I've been working on it since I was a teenager. I'm 46 now, and I still haven't gotten there. Um, there are just some things for me that I feel are just so unforgivable.
and,
You don't
and
touch kids, you
right.
don't hurt kids in any sort of any physical way. And that's the challenge that I've kind of been facing. Um, and so instead of forgiving and sort of releasing, I hold on to all of this trauma, this awful yucky shit, and I've still managed to go out into the world and be love and want nothing but the best for people, with the occasional outburst of, you know, crazy.
Be human.
Yeah.
We only human. Like I
Mm,
know a lot of times when I talk and the way I talk, it sounds almost robotic, but I'm human. I have moments where I get frustrated. I have moments where I'm angry. You know,
mm,
we only human, but it's how I reel myself back. I'm aware when I feel an
yes.
emotion. I'm aware of that emotion. And I tell myself this is not what I want. I don't want to feel like this. So I do stuff,
Mm,
I tickle my son, hearing him laugh makes me
mm,
happy. I got
yeah.
little devices like when people say they got triggers, I got tools. I got
Mm,
tools to use when those triggers go off. And I think
yes.
that's important. Um,
Absolutely.
that was important for my growth. Having
Yeah.
those tools. Like I said, when I'm angry or mad or sad, I
Mm,
tickle my son. Hearing him laugh make me feel better. I tickle my wife. Now I
yeah.
got my baby girl. Use what I got to use what I have. You
Yeah.
know, um, and I
Well,
think
as a general sort of state of being, I'm in perpetual tears. Just, that you would think that they would dry up eventually, but they don't. They just keep
right.
going. And it's for me, it's the process of working out how to let all of this grief, this trauma, the things that have kind of weighed me down, but yet have kind of made me who I am. Um, how to
Let,
let that out so
let
I
me
can
ask you.
just.
Let me
Mm,
ask you a question. You got a son, right?
I do.
You got a
17 years
daughter.
old. I do. She's 14.
So I would um like I said, what helped me was learning. And you might
Mm,
think you can't learn anything from what you went through, but
mm,
if you if your kids didn't go through what you went through, not
no.
only did you learn, but you accomplished something. You see
Oh
what I'm
yeah.
saying? You
They're
accomplished
they're
that.
my greatest they're my greatest accomplishments.
And so a lot of times, like I said, when I learned from the situation, I had something um, to hold on to. I had something to release some of that pain. Okay, this happened to me, but I prevented it from happening to someone else or,
Hmm.
to my kid. So I have overcame a portion of that trauma
Yes.
because I prevented it from happening. I didn't continue the cycle. The cycle stopped.
Hmm.
So that's something that you can hold on to because that's what you did.
Yes. And yeah, it's all a very positive, a positive way to look at things. I I get very frustrated though because for me, it is such an opportunity, and the opportunity keeps going. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And
So
it's
I'm trying to work in some new ways of talking. Um, yeah. So the opportunity keeps on giving. Um, and it's like, well, when do I get to start? And I suppose I'm the only one that can answer that. When do I get to start just living my life without having that monkey on my back, so
um
to speak?
I say it like this. It's something that never gonna go away, you know. Um it's something
Mm,
that's always gonna be there, like even like with what I went through when I grew up, I seen a lot of stuff a kid shouldn't have seen, and I still see them things sometimes,
mhm,
but it's me learning, me not doing what was done, me not putting people in those positions for bad things to happen. Me being aware, me learning from it, me growing from it. If I can prevent this from happening to somebody else, then I have overcame a portion of it.
yes.
So, but yeah, it's always gonna be there. It's how we look at it, how we, like you said, how we get up and how we go forward from it. But yeah, is
And it comes back to accountability.
yeah,
I've had some pretty shitty coping mechanisms in my time. Um, and to I've had I have a great deal of shame attached to that, but you have to take accountability for it at the
yeah,
same time. How could I look my children in the eyes if I don't?
and you know what I tell people, even about shame. What happened in the past happened. There's nothing we can do, about
Mm,
it. But
mhm,
like I said, we learn from it, and we have to forgive ourselves. You know, and just it is what it is, and it's whatever what was done. Like whatever I did in my past, it
mhm,
propelled me to what I am now. So I had to have that experience. My father always said he's never ashamed of what he did in his past. He had to go through it to learn from it
mm,
to become what he is now. And that was
yeah,
profound for me. And I'm gonna get him back up here. He gonna share the rest of his story. But my dad been through some stuff, and
yeah.
the way he overcame it inspired me. And
Well, your
that
dad,
was
Papa,
seeing it.
Papa Word is amazing.
Yeah, that's what I say. I'm blessed. I always say this, no one's perfect, right? But everybody in my
Mm,
life is just perfect for me. My wife, my
yeah,
dad, my mom, they perfect for me personally. They not perfect people, but they perfect for me. They exactly what I need, and
mm,
I'm blessed. I'm blessed to have them, and I appreciate them. And that's
yes,
what I tell
you
you.
are.
We a lot of times we look at the things we don't have, and we forget about the things we do have. And
Mm,
sometimes if we focus too much on what we don't have, we lose some of them things we do have. So I just learned to be grateful for what I have. And in doing
mm,
that, I was better. I'm able to show greater appreciation for the things that I do have. Um, and
yes.
that's how I get blessed a lot. I get blessed in many different ways, but um, the things that I do have tend to bless me the most. So that's what I focus on. It's That's the crazy thing about life, right? Um, Experiences and the way we perceive those experiences. Sometimes it's easy for some to overcome obstacles that's difficult for us, but then when we look, other people been through things that we've been through, and we didn't look at it as tough or rough, you know.
Hmm.
That's the funny thing about life, you know, is how we each experience different and the same things.
Yes. Well, it's all subjective.
Yeah,
How I experience one, the same. Uh, you and I having a conversation here, and my experience of it will be completely different to your experience of it.
yeah, it's crazy. And that's what worked my brain a lot. Is just like hearing different people experiences and learning from their perspective, because I can look at something and tell you how I would feel, but it's
Excuse
more
me.
I guess tantalizing for me to look at it from another person's perspective and try to
Mm.
understand why they look at things the way they do, so I can learn from that. Um, that's why I said I'm an information whore. Just people experiences
Sure.
to me is information. People, the way
Same.
people talk, the way people
Same.
think, that's all
I
information.
I'm again, I just love learning all about the human condition and what makes people think the way that they think or do act in certain ways. People are quite fascinating. Even
Yeah,
even even people that view themselves as quite boring, they're fascinating.
yeah. I
Um,
guess just their perspective, just the way they choose to look at life.
mm,
And I break it down to I want to know a person's emotion as they're making a decision or as they forming a thought. I want to know that person's
mm,
emotion, because understanding that emotion that the person is having at that moment can help you better understand where they're coming from with it.
yes. I have a dear friend who is kind of I, there's there's something going on in my life where right now um, people are coming out from all over from all over um, to challenge to challenge me. I feel to, like I met I met you on a very what ostensibly what was going to be my final day, um, and there you were. And here I am now, still here, and I'm learning so much from you, um, and learning to change the way I think, and it's a beautiful thing. And I have another friend who, when because I can at times act like a petulant child, um, and I don't necessarily know that I'm doing it. I just I might react kind of funny to something that they say. And they'll ask the question, well, what's going on? Why did you react in this way? And I'm like, I don't know. And they go, well, I'm here. I'll allow you to take your time to think about it, but I want an answer. So then I have to kind of really think about why I acted in that way. And as I'm doing it, I'm holding myself accountable.
Yep.
It's it's exhilarating, but it's disturbing, and it's uncomfortable because there's so much of me that I don't want to change, because there is a lot a lot of opportunity involved in that change. But it's great. And I know when I get more of a feel for it and start to rewire my brain and all the things that I've been told negatively about myself, that it'll be such a wonderful cathartic experience.
Yeah. And see, and then too, you gotta everything something, people always gonna have their opinion. I say it like this: people always gonna have their opinion, but some things that other people might think you need to change, it's good
Mhm.
that you take the time to think about it and understand if it's good or bad for you. It's a lot of things that I know I had to change, but it's things that I wanted to keep. Like, I love my aggressiveness because I
Yes.
don't just use it or utilize it for, physical confrontation with people. I utilize it with every aspect of my life. Everything that I do, I go at it in an aggressive manner. Far
Mm.
as even like this YouTube, like, I'm laid back and chill, but I don't know how to make content yet. As in making videos, I'm still learning, but I still get on here every night and talk. And I'm moving forward. I can just say, okay, I'm gonna wait till I learn how to make content, or I can make a video, talk about things that I know. I give it to
Well,
people.
you can also, sorry to interrupt.
Oh no, you cool.
You can also just take clips of little splices of conversations and turn those into a short or a video.
And
Um,
that's what I'm doing now. And see, like, I don't have, like, right now, my son sleep, my wife sleep. Well, my wife chill,
mhm,
but this the only time I really get time. In the morning, if I
mhm.
pull up my laptop, I can try to do it off my phone, but it's a little bit more difficult to do it off my phone. So, like, to pull out my laptop, I need my son not to be here, because as soon as he see it come up, he want to type and
Oh,
play.
he wants to
It's
play.
his. Anything that's mine is his. Like, I shouldn't have gave him my name, so he get confused. My wife get confused. I'm like, okay, I don't know if you're talking to me or your son, but so everybody get confused. Um, so that's what I say is time. But I'm like, when I get off here tonight, I'm gonna play with it, because it is some videos that I want to clip, some conversations I want to make
Yeah.
clips of. And like, my plan going forward is to just do a short video about a topic, and then later on come on live and talk about it. If people had questions or had more
Mm.
insight on the topic, then we can have a live about it. So going forward, eventually, that's what I want to do is create like a 10-15 minute video, give my opinion,
Mhm.
kind of like a pre-show, telling people, if they want to add or build onto it, come to the live later and we talk about it. So that's what I want to do too, moving forward. That's what my plans are. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna do that. So it's little things. Like, I'm the type of person, I need to know how things work. And
Yes.
like I said, it was either, at the time, it was like, get on here and do it and start it, or just wait
Mhm.
until you're ready to start it. And I said, well, if I wait, it's
Are you
always gonna be something.
are you
Long,
always are you ever going to be ready? I guess
yeah.
that's the thing.
You, are you ever really ready for anything?
Yeah,
So I just do it. So I just
you
got on
just
here and start
jumped in the
talking.
deep end.
Yeah,
And
just
look at
jump
you
in there.
go.
And
I I'm really proud of you, and
I'm,
I support you 100.
and you know what? Like you said, you really don't know how much you're helping me. Because like I said, it was times where I just got on here and talk, and I'm like, don't nobody really want, like I got a mentor, and he told me, you never go really hold a crowd, and I said, why you say that? He said because a lot of people ain't willing to self reflect, and
Mm.
that's how you come off. Like you make people, if you're doing it intentionally or not, you make people look at themselves. And the stuff you say, people begin to compare. He said, you had me doing it. And this is like one of my mentors. And this is actually the one who gave me the name, the word. Well, actually, he gave me the name Rahuti, um, meaning the son of the Houthi. But um,
Mm.
but yeah, he told me that. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. Yeah, whatever. And then the more I explored on here, the more I realized he was right. You know, um, people,
People people like to be in their delusional bubble. Just
yeah, people like to be
the
distracted. I mean,
the
it is
old
what it is.
the old adage, what is it? Uh, ignorance is bliss.
Yeah,
People love that shit,
yeah,
and certainly that's why I put up that poem after conversations with you.
yeah. I
My
seen that.
favorite, the the guy in the glass, the guy in the mirror, um, because people don't like to look at themselves and just change the things that don't serve them or serve other people. That's a very uncomfortable process, and it requires sitting with yourself and all perhaps the horrid things that you've done or said to inflict your trauma ball onto somebody else so that you don't have to hold it anymore.
Have you ever read the Portrait of Dorian Gray?
You know what? As we're sitting here, I have Oscar Wilde because there's
I love Oscar Wilde.
he's my bro. He's my bro. And I've had a few people say to me that they'd like me to read stuff, use my channel to do like audiobooks or whatever. And
That'd
so I
be
thought
awesome.
that,
That would be awesome. I mean, your voice, your tone, your pitches. That would be. I would definitely. I will definitely be there.
oh, cool. Well, the first one that sprung to mind was Oscar Wilde. And I was like, well, do I want to go with, a longer story like, A Picture of Dorian Gray? Or do I want to start off small, like The Nightingale and the Rose?
I love that
One
one.
of one of those little fables. And I thought, yeah, and I was just flicking through it, kind of as you just said that. You're you're freaky. I love it,
Hey,
but you're tapped into my head sometimes, and it's just, yeah,
if
interesting.
if I told you something, you probably wouldn't believe me. But
I don't
I
know.
mean,
Try me.
I know you heard the notion that we're all connected,
Oh
um,
yeah,
and that's true
we're all electric.
because I'm gonna tell you this: the night that I got back, because I had did a live before that, and I
Hmm.
had got off, and I don't know what it was. Like I was telling my wife, like I don't know why I don't never do that. Like I literally went off and jumped back on within 30 minutes, and it was just like it was just a I was drawn back to the live, and I had just did the same subject, but it's like okay, I need to say this. I need for some reason I felt the need to say what I said. And after you told me that, I'm looking like she attracted me. That's why I did it. I knew why I did it after I had a conversation with you. I said, you did that.
And well, I don't know what I did. I don't know how.
Is
Um,
you asked I said like this, you asked the universe for something, and the way the universe or God, you know, even if you didn't physically say it, your inner self said it. And it was a
right.
strong enough desire that it attracted what you needed at that time. And sometimes it's people, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I say we all connected. And if you
Well,
open, you see, you were open to listen to what I said. That's the key. That's the opportunity. And you took the opportunity to click on the video and listen to what I'm talking about. We, even though you felt the way you felt, you still took the opportunity.
well, the message was kind of too too is too much of a coincidence to ignore.
And
And yeah, it could have very well been a coincidence, but it's a happy one because I just know that I probably wouldn't be here had I not found you. However we found each other, that it was such a profound event.
it's divine. Like when you told me that, I said, everything happens for a reason. I don't believe in coincidence. Even like me losing my eyesight, like
Mhm.
it's part of my transformation. Me losing my eyesight. Like I believe
Yes.
in comedic science. Even the
Hmm.
story of Heru or Horus. I lost my left eye,
Yes.
and understanding who my father is and the sacrifices that he made, sacrifices my mother made. I understood that this is all part of the process,
Yes.
and it sounds
I,
crazy, but
I
it
have
is a
an eye
deeper
of
meaning.
I have an eye of Haru tattooed on my arm.
My wife got it on her back, and that's the
Hmm.
left eye. That's the eye Heru. It's the left eye. That's the one I lost. It's a significant meaning. It was all. I'm not gonna get into all that, but yeah,
Hmm.
it once I accepted it and seen it for what it was, I understood, and that's another reason I'm doing what I'm doing now, because it's some things are just divine, and I'm supposed to be doing it, and I'm supposed to reach certain people. I'm supposed to talk to certain people, um, and that's what I got to do, and I stay focused on that. So it's not, I mean, when you getting on YouTube, do you want to be monetized? Yeah. That's a milestone, I guess, for everybody who clicked the go live button or make content. But what's bigger to me is reaching the people that what I need to say, the people that need to hear it, and vice versa. It's things that people I still have to learn, so I still got to find those
Hmm.
people to teach me. And like I said,
Yes.
just being humble helps me understand that. Being confident helps me and like this is something new, so you even being in the chats, you being up here, is building that,
It's
so
coming.
if you see me a year from now, and I got 100,000 subscribers, is you was part of that. You were a big part of that, huge part of that, you know um
Well, I'll do whatever I can to facilitate. I because that's something that is calling me. I'm called to be of service to my people and to be an inspiration somehow. Because I've gone through hell. I've gone through hell, and I'm still here somehow. It has to be. It has to be for something. So I choose to use that um, to to teach other people, to raise other people up.
Yeah, I got
To
this.
sit and hold people's hands in the darkness when they feel like there's no hope.
Right. I got this saying, right? You have to
Mhm.
go through hell to experience to experience heaven properly. Like you got to go
Yes.
through hell. You know, because if you don't go through hell, when you get to heaven, you won't be able to appreciate it.
Yeah.
You know, we better appreciate things when we deprived of them, or when we don't have them, or when we get the latter of them. You know, when you
Mhm.
felt pain, you can embrace joy even more. Um,
And that's the part of it's the part of it that I haven't gotten a handle on yet. The experiencing the joy for myself. I can feel, so happy for other people. But when good stuff happens to me, it's almost like I feel, oh, I don't deserve
Deserve
this.
it. Yeah, I knew you was about to say that, and you
Hmm.
do, and you do. That's part
And
of
I
the
do.
that's part of the
I know.
affirmations.
Yeah.
That's part of the affirmations. Like I do five different affirmations, and I say them
Hmm.
anywhere from 3 to 9 times in the mirror every morning and every night. I still do it. You know,
Right.
I had to reprogram myself to tell myself I deserve. You know, a lot of people feel like that
Mm.
they don't deserve happiness. You know, it could be because they never really had it. It can be because they
Hmm.
did things in the past and they still beating
Yes.
themselves up about it. You know, is a lot of different variables and reasons why people feel they don't deserve it, but everyone
Mm.
does. Everyone deserves to be happy. That's part of why we're here is to
I think
experience happiness,
I think
experience
I
joy.
think for me, I've made a lifetime habit of telling myself, even um, just because of, I guess, stuff that's happened to me um, at the hands of other people, things that I had no control over. But somehow that's made me feel unworthy of love. And yet I go out into the world and I tell everybody, you deserve love. Here, I'm going to give you some love. But I can't tell myself that. What's like the psychological fuckery is pretty hardcore in my head. So I need to, yeah, sit down and really make myself believe that I too, like everybody else, deserve love.
And you do, and that's something, like I said, it's a process. It didn't happen overnight. You know what I'm saying? The
Hmm.
reason why you feel like that didn't happen overnight, it happened over time. So it's go take time um, to get that out,
Yes.
but it's possible, you know, and just keep telling yourself you do. And the more
Mm.
you tell yourself, the more you believe. You know, I don't like quoting this guy because people, well, no, I'm not even going to quote him, but
Yeah.
is a, is a saying that I use
Hmm.
um, for understanding, you know, and it goes
Right.
like this: if you tell a big enough lie and you keep telling it, eventually people will believe it. And
Yeah.
I use reverse mechanics on that
Right.
because if I tell myself the truth, something that I undoubtedly know, and I continue to do it,
Hmm.
eventually I will believe it. And like I said, I just changed the mechanics because I don't have to lie to myself. I deserve to be happy. I deserve to be
Yeah.
happy. You know, I deserve to be happy. I whisper affirmations in my son's ear, and I tell him every
Mm.
day how
Mm.
special he is, how smart he is, how brilliant he.
Mm.
I speak affirmations into my son.
Yes.
I do it when he's asleep and when he awake.
Hmm.
You know, because I want
Beautiful.
to program that into him. Before he
Yeah.
can even think it, I want it to be a thought. You know, I
Hmm.
want him. That's probably why he run around here like he's Spider-Man and jump over everything. Just think that's probably why. But I would rather have him fearless than to
Yes.
have fear. I would rather have him fearless and educated. You know, you can be fearless
Mm.
and educated to understand risk. Um, but you don't have to. Well, I don't want him walking around because I did that. You know, I was
Mm.
afraid of a lot of different things when I was young, and I
Yeah.
don't want that for him. I want him to be fearless. So I just make him aware. Like when he jumping off the couch, like, bro, you go hurt yourself. You want to go to the hospital? No, okay. Well, that's what's gonna happen. That's what's gonna
Yeah.
happen. We will have to go to the hospital. And sometimes he say,
Mm.
"Yeah, I want to go." Like, you crazy, man. You get that from his mama, though. You don't get that.
Right.
I tell my wife all the crazy stuff he got is from you.
So cool. But I think that it all starts. Perhaps the process is to start sort of reclaiming or rebuilding, like your inner child, like going back to perhaps the scene of all your trauma, the biggest traumas, and kind of Im- visualizing or imagining that you're guiding the little you through these things and assuring them. I know it all sounds pretty hippy dippy,
No, it don't.
but I don't I didn't have that person holding my hand when I was a
Right.
kid. I felt very alone and always on the verge of some sort of danger and always just in fear. So I've grown up to be a very fearful adult whilst still being kind of a free spirit, which, it's a paradox, but whatever. Um, and I think that going back to like your younger self and sort of walking that child through all the all the hurt and the trauma, um, and assuring them that they're loved and it's not their fault and somebody's there for them. That I don't know whether that it could have some effect. I
I
don't
think
know.
I think that'll have a great impact because that's kind of sort of what I did. Um, I went back to some of the most painful things that I didn't even know it was affecting me. Honestly,
Hmm.
until one day I was meditating, like when I really understood meditation, and I was meditating, and I kept saying that. I kept saying that, and at the time, I was trying to unlock my root chakra, and that's the chakra that identified with fear.
Yes.
So yeah, I went back, and that's crazy that you said that because I was about to suggest that as you were saying that, and yeah, I went back and I experienced it, as an adult, what I
Hmm.
went through. And like you
Yeah.
said, I kind of um, told myself, none of this was my fault. Um, it wasn't my fault. It wasn't nothing I could have did. It was a situation that I was put in that I wasn't understood fully. So now that I understand as an adult, I understand that um, it wasn't my fault. And I made it through, even though I went through it. I made it through, so I had a greater purpose. And I went back and I talked. I talked to my stepdad and told him like,
Hmm.
you know, you felt like you was making me a man, making me stronger, but you was abusing me, bro. You was beating me. Look at I
Yeah.
got marks still to this day. You know what I'm saying? Like you were an alcoholic and you kicked my ass. That's what you
Yes.
did. And it wasn't fair to me, but guess what? I'm here. I'm okay. And I'll never do that to my child. And I learned from you. I
Mm.
learned that hurt people hurt people. And I understood what he was going through. Not giving him an excuse for what he did, but
Well,
I had to understand because I didn't want to make the same mistakes he made. You know, he took his pain out on me.
and
And one time,
did he acknowledge that?
nope.
No.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. He was making me tough.
So,
Nope. I was
so,
being tough. I'm
so
like,
then
nah,
you had to forgive. Then you forgave
I
when
forgave him.
there was no apology
No
forthcoming.
apology. Nope. No apology.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, no apology at all. And but I forgave him. So and then I was able to move forward. You know, but
Did
I
you?
had to first go back and
Mhm.
for me, to be honest with you, and I know a lot of people might not have this opportunity or luxury,
Mm.
but I had to confront, you know.
Yeah.
And like I said, some people don't have that luxury because the people who hurt them either ain't accessible, or it's just not a good idea to approach those people. So,
Yeah.
like that, I
Oh,
don't have an experience in. So that only thing I can say is you have to find a way, and then if
mm.
it just be open because that way it be presented to you. You know,
I think for most of my uh, for most of the people that I have to forgive, it has to come sort of for them posthumously. They're deceased now, and so I now can't have that conversation. But it doesn't need to be had really, because
right?
that there would I know that there would be no ownership and there would be no apology. Or it would almost be about as useful as me, um, you know, I don't know, just talking to a wall. So I can kind of make up my own conversation.
Right.
And in which the end result would be me, forgiving for myself and just moving on. Because I'm tired. I've been this is probably a really terrible word to use, but I have been a slave to all the things that have been done to me. Just bound in pain and the chains of that. And what's it all for? I don't
Right.
want to throw trauma balls around anymore. I'm sick of it. I want to finally just be free,
And
be me.
release it. Like you
Mm,
said, dissolve it. Not even
yeah,
throw it. Let's get rid of it completely.
yeah.
And that's and that's part of the process. And you know what? This is what
Mhm.
I've learned to enjoy the journey.
Yeah.
You know, like when I say it's part of the process. It's a journey. You know,
Mhm.
and it's not really when we on journeys. It's not really the end that get us satisfaction. Is what we went through to get there. That's where the strength come from. That's where the growth come from. When you
Yeah.
understand how far you, once you get to your destination and you turn around and realize how far you came. A lot of times, that's
Mhm.
what that's the most satisfying part about it is understanding the journey, the process that it took to get you where you at. It's not the end. A lot of times, it's simply the journey.
Yes. Mm. And how much are you going to charge me for this therapy session, doctor?
Oh man, this is I'm getting more out of it than you. I'm getting
I
more out of
know
it than
about
you.
that.
You don't understand. I got it. My like if you understood like one day you'll get to ask my wife like if I don't
Mm-hmm.
talk and get because I don't I feel like a robot. Like even like every time I turn this on, I was just telling my sister earlier, like I gotta program myself to be a certain way. And
Yeah.
when I say that, like when I come on here, uh, I try to be as humble as possible, especially about things that I know,
Mm-hmm.
because like I research things differently from everybody. I'm not gonna say different from everybody. I use um, uh, I guess you could say, a certain method of researching. So the information I come into is a lot different from other people. So to even have conversations about things, I have to come from a humble aspect because I used to debate a lot.
Oh
So
yes.
to properly convey my message, I have to tell myself like, be humble. Be humble, be humble, be humble. I got to constantly remind myself of that. So a lot of
Mm-hmm.
times when I'm even talking now, I'm thinking, and if I don't get my words out, I go crazy. If I don't get my thoughts out, I will literally start talking to myself. And my wife be like,
Yeah.
"What you say to me?" I'll be like, "Nothing. I'm just talking to myself. I got to get it out." She'd be like, "Well,
Mm-hmm.
just tell me." And I'm like, "I don't want to bore you because I just
Oh,
be having. I think about life too much.
oh,
I think about life too much. I think about it's like my mind is constantly problem solving things, and I can't stop it. It's
well,
like
not only are you a natural leader, but you're a natural philosopher. And I mean, that's what the philosophers did back in the day. They sat around and they just, navel gazed and hypothesized and
yeah,
pontificated. And it never, like most of the time, it never really went anywhere.
no, it don't
But
because
it was, to them, it was kind of solving solving little puzzles in their own minds.
yeah, and it's sickening. Like I create scenarios just to fix. I create problems in
Hmm.
my head to fix. I don't know why I do it, but I can
That's
constantly
great.
do it. I will see something like, well, if this
Hmm.
happens, then I got to do this, this, that. Like, why do you do that, bro? Like, I don't know why I do that. I've been doing it ever since I was a kid. I always thought like that's why I love chess. That's why I love playing chess because it's like I look at the
Ah.
board and I see so many different strategies or problems
Hmm.
or ways I can be attacked, and I just want to figure them all out. Um, like even
So
classical music, I like listening to it, um,
I
especially like
love
the
I love
nocturnal.
it.
Yeah, but I like to. I don't know. I like to hear the different tones and figure out the different um, just like hearing a different instrument and figuring out
Hmm.
what key or what frequency is vibrating at because it's natural instruments and I want to know the frequency of each sound that comes out. That's crazy.
Hmm.
I don't know why I do that, but yeah, I'm hooked like that.
Well, I think that yeah, you're a natural philosopher, an engineer of philosophy, if you will.
But but then I don't ever want to like misguide or mislead people, and I think that's something I don't never want to feel that's something I'm working on. I don't.
Well, you haven't created a cult, so I'll let I'll let you know there that I too have a mind of my own, and if because you're always doing the I'm humble, and constantly grounding yourself so that that your head doesn't get away from you. I don't think that you really have to worry too much about steering people in any given way.
Right.
You just give the knowledge,
And
and they well,
I drop it and leave.
that's probably the best way to do it, because then that person has the ability to use the knowledge in the way that
Suits them.
they want to.
Yeah, and that's my whole goal. It's like I tell people, like, I've been in circles or people that felt challenged because they tried to portray themselves as like an authority figure, and just having conversations with me, they understood that um, I will never accept that, and they felt challenged, like I wanted their spot. And it's like, no, I just like exchanging conversation. Like I used to
Mhm.
work, I used to work around a lot of like anesthesiologists and nurse
Yeah.
anesthetists,
Hmm.
and very bright people, well rounded, well traveled, and we have these intellectual conversations. And it was like more of a competition or got into a debate when I'm like, I'm just trying to exchange information. We read some of
Yeah.
the same things, been to some of the same places. And
Mm.
I guess you feel since I'm not up to par with you that I shouldn't know these things. But it's like I'm not trying to best you. If you say something, when you young and you hear something wrong, you correct it. You think that's
Yeah.
what you're supposed to do. So I did that
Hmm.
all. And I guess people got offended that I was correcting them. I'm like, and then when I do it, I go to the extent of showing them the information, showing them exactly where, because I thought that was the proper way to do it, you know. But I had to understand quick that some people don't like to be corrected.
They
You
don't
um,
appreciate it.
no,
Uh, I worked that out in, religious studies growing up.
yeah,
Um,
it's a big
just,
area.
yeah, just kind of being a child and innocently going, well, no, that's not right. This is right. And getting, kicked out,
Yeah,
made to sit on the naughty chair. So what did I do? I'm just telling you what I know to be true. I'm sorry that your version of events is very different to mine. How is this? But yeah, and pretty soon you start to learn that, yeah, you shouldn't really correct people
no,
because it just gets you into trouble. But
yeah,
you should, if we're all adults, you should be able to have an adult debate, conversation with opposing views, and you're both sort of learning from each other.
and see, that's where I begin to understand the difference between fact and reality. Because what you said is a fact. When you become an adult, you should be able to have a conversation with an adult and be able to correct one another. But the reality is that a lot of people ain't uh, adult minded. I guess that's the best way to say it. Everyone doesn't function from an adult mentality. So, a lot of times, like just having conversations with people, like I would know exactly like they're wrong, and if they're not open to be
Mhm.
corrected, I just let them have it. It's no point.
Yeah,
It's no. I'm not putting energy into something that's not fruitful no more. It's not. I mean, if that's their truth, let them have it. If that's what they
sure.
choose to believe, especially if you go, even if you won't accept the facts, why even present them to you? Now I'm wasting my time. I'm putting my energy into something that is not fruitful. And for what?
Mm.
Just to be right? I know I'm right. So I'm confident. That's how I
Yeah.
feel. Like, be having conversations with people, and I be looking like you really don't know shit. But guess what? That's good for you because I can already tell. It won't. This conversation won't go well. So I'm gonna just let you go on about your way, and I'm gonna enjoy my day. And that's how I just move forward now. And it used to, like I said, I used to love to debate. It was like I used to get an adrenaline rush off of it. And then I just figured like it's not doing nothing. I'm not bettering myself by debating somebody because
Mm.
it's really not about what's right and what's wrong. It's about who's right and who's wrong. And the only thing you got to do is be more convincing. That's all you got to do. And to win the debate.
Yeah.
I don't really believe. Only person I probably lost a debate to is my mama and my wife. That's because they women.
Yeah, that's the way
Yeah,
it
but
should be.
you ain't winning no argument. I mean, if you're a smart man, you just realize you ain't winning no argument with no woman. It's just not even worth it. So
No, you just kind of say, yes, dear, you're right.
yeah, hey,
And,
and
you
keep it
know,
moving.
keep your
And
head down.
yeah, and eventually, my wife always come to the conclusion that I am right. But I give her that time. I give her that space. You know,
Mm.
plant the seed and walk away and wait for the tree to grow. That's what I do.
Yeah.
No, let me stop talking. My
Yeah.
wife is wonderful. I'm talking crap. She listens to me when she feel like it. When she feel like it, I'll do this with her all day. Like I'm saying this because I'm hoping she hear me and give me a look. But she thinks she sleep though. Yeah, she sleep. But
Oh.
yeah, it's it's I just found ways to keep my peace. Once I had it, I didn't want to let it go. So, like
Mm.
arguing and debating, if a person is open, then I had a conversation and we can exchange dialogue. But if they're not,
Yeah.
then there's no point. It's like trying to fit a square in a triangle peg. Like it's just not
Mm-hmm.
going. So, and then that's their truth. You know, everybody got their own truth. You know, and but that's why, like, even understanding that, that's why I say I'm always open. Like when someone criticizes me,
Mm.
I want to know why. Like, so I eat it. I accept it. Okay, this is how you feel, and I try to understand why. And a lot of times, I understood. Sometimes they was right because a lot of times when we do stuff, like you said earlier, we don't know we doing it while we doing it. So sometimes they were right, but a lot of times I just understood. People project things. You know,
That's true.
they look at they self.
Mm-hmm.
They might see characteristics in someone else, and
Mm.
since they do it, this has to be the reason why they're doing it. You know, people do that a lot, and the more criticism I accepted and looked at and analyzed, I was able to understand that, and now I can determine when that's happening easily. I can easily see when it's happening now. Like, okay, they projecting. Okay, let them
Mm.
keep talking, and maybe they hear what they saying. Or I just show them, show me exactly what you're saying. Show me how I did that.
Uh-huh.
And then usually when they can't show you, then they realize like, oh shit, yeah, you just told on yourself. That's what you do.
Yeah. But it's usually those people that are projecting that find it the hardest to
Except,
kind of accept that that's what they're doing.
yeah,
It look, it's not always the case,
right,
but from my experience, oftentimes it's it's how they be.
yeah. And that's why I don't judge people. Like I look at a situation, but there's no point in me judging a person because um, all I'm doing is giving my perception. You know,
Mm.
and I might be right. You know, I might be 100% right, but still, if I judge them, I won't be able to learn from the situation because I already determined if it's right or wrong. Like, you want to
Yeah,
hear something crazy?
I'd love
Like,
to.
like when people say good or evil,
Yeah.
this is my understanding of it. I don't
Mm-hmm.
really, like when I don't really think anything is good or evil, because to me it's on the same, is on two different ends of the same stick. So it's necessary for both. It's necessary to have good and evil, and to determine what's good for you, it might be
Mhm.
evil for other people, and what's evil to them might be good for you. Like, even if you think of okay, like slavery, right?
Yes,
That was very bad for black people, but it was good for white people.
absolutely.
You know, it
Yeah.
was good for
And
the people
it was good for some of the 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 black people that
that had
um
slaves.
that
I
had
mean,
slaves or sold,
or
slaves to the
but that,
white folk.
do you see what I'm saying? So it's
Hmm.
evil for some people, but it was actually good for other people. Other people actually prospered off of it.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm not saying it was right. I'm not saying it was wrong. What I'm saying, it
Mm.
was necessary. It happened, you know. So to learn from it is prevent prevent it. So I can sit here and have an emotional tie to it, or I
Hmm.
can analyze it, learn from it, and teach. You
We
know,
can say that it was detrimental, and it was uh, a, a it was a learning experience for
it's
it's
hard to
hard
find. I
it's
know,
hard to put words to it.
especially with the ideology that I'm given, because
Yeah.
it shouldn't, like, I am not okaying it. I'm not saying it was good. I'm not.
Mm.
But what I'm saying is it happened. You
It
know.
happened.
So instead of me having an emotional tie to it and being angry about it, I learned
Mm.
about it. I learned, and then when you learn about it, like when I
Yeah.
fully learned about it, it
Yeah.
pissed me off, because the
Hmm.
general notion of slavery, okay, they was captured. No, they were herded. They were treated like animals. They were breeding mothers and childs together. They were cutting babies out of mothers, giving them to the kid, killing the father and the mother. They totally dismantled a whole race of people. You know what they did, the actions were evil.
Ostensibly genocide.
Genocide, and it was the world's biggest genocide.
Hmm.
Because not only did they took these people identity, they took our language, there's a lot of stuff. But if we don't learn from it, guess what? It's gonna happen again. So we have to learn from it. It happened, and ain't nothing we can do about it but learn from it and learn how to prevent it.
Right.
Learn from it, because it's history always repeats itself. So you, like, this is what I try to explain to people. Um,
Mm.
if we go if something happened and we lose everything that we have and we have to start all over, guess what else
Mm.
gonna happen? A lot of the things that occurred when societies were built. And if you look at any society that was created, they had slaves. There was slavery
Yeah.
going on. It was in Egypt. It was in Rome.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah.
it was in England. It was in
Yes.
America.
Yeah.
Anytime civilization was built up, it was built off the back of slaves.
Hmm.
So what have we learned? We haven't learned nothing as a people. You know why? Because our civilizations always fall. We never
Mm.
learn from the past. We continue to make the same mistakes as a mass, as the population of people. We continue to make the same mistakes over and over
Mm.
again. That's why all these civilizations, no matter how great they were, at some point they fall. People get greedy. People take advantage of other people. No one works together. You look in all these civilizations, the towards of when they start declining, what
Hmm.
happened? Wars, famine,
Yes.
everything that Revelation predicted in the Bible happened to
Yeah.
all these civilizations. And people say, "Oh, it's prophecy." No, it's telling you what happened, and it keep happening because y'all ain't learning from it. Like, people
Yeah.
actually start making the shit happen. The decisions
Mm.
and choices they make begin the process of revelation. And people don't, if you look through history, you can clearly see it. people get greedy, start taxing people, start abusing a group of people, usually the lower class people, got abused from the
Absolutely.
higher class people. It was an uprising. Everything turned on his ass and the civilization fell. That's what's gonna happen.
And that's kind of why I think the only the only people that I want to kind of disseminate, remove, are the one percenters that use us, like we're in the Hunger Games, as a mere um, entertainment,
Hmm.
while we're all fighting amongst each other for scraps, little little bits of land or whatever to call our own, even though the one percenters could quite easily come in and just take it. You don't own anything, and they're telling you to your face that in the future you will own nothing and you will love it.
And see, even that, like what we choose is a choice. We choose to play the game they give us.
Mm,
And I like a lot of stuff that happened. It literally it don't make sense to me. It just don't. It don't make sense. Like we as a people, the majority, we allow the minority to control us, um, and we decide and choose to fight over things like religion, race, politics, and these are all devices to keep us separated. Even sports, I love sports. I seen people fight at a sports game, and I'm like, "What is y'all fighting for?" Oh, I love this team. You don't even know these people. We come here to watch a game, and y'all fighting. Like it don't
mm,
make sense. Like the stuff we fight, we find reasons to divide, to stay divided. We find so many
that's
different
right.
reasons to stay divided on so many different levels,
And
and I
that's
don't
how they
understand.
keep us weak
Yeah, that's how they keep us distracted. And like you
and
said,
dependent on the government, dependent on, the little crumbs that they throw to us, dependent on welfare, blah blah blah. Um, because they've kept everybody weak and dependent.
and we comfortable with that. We comfortable with what they give us.
Absolutely,
To
we are.
me, as as laziness is an excuse, and it's just laziness. Like I said, I mean, even conversation. Like I hear people, just not even on here, just in real life. I hear people
Mm.
like it's hard for me to have conversations with people because um, even when we talk, like just this
Mm.
conversation, I'm always given tools. I don't even say solutions no more because I know what works for me won't work for everybody. I understand that. But what I can do is offer you the things that help me. So I call them tools now instead of
Yes.
saying solutions. This is tools that you can possibly use. Put in your
Mm.
toolbox and you might find it handy one day. That's how I look at it. So even having conversations with people, they want to complain. I don't care about complaining. I care about the solution to the problem, the solution to the situation. Let's talk about that. Okay, look,
Yes.
we have to talk about the situation, but what's the point of talking about it if we're not looking for solution? And I get, I
Mhm.
get disgusted, like just having conversations with people when they want to complain. To me, it's like pointless. Like I literally get disgusted. Like, why are we even talking? Why am I wasting my time? Talking to someone about something that's is a you say is a problem. Okay, let's figure it out. That's what I'm saying. The way my brain works. If you present something, I want to figure it out.
Mm.
And so when I'm having conversations with people and they just want to complain, I'm like, that don't do nothing. You're digging a hole deeper.
That's
You
right. You're solidifying the problem.
exactly.
The problem's not going anywhere.
No,
And like you're going to wake up tomorrow and the problem's still going to be there.
go get
What's
it.
the point of bitching about it? Try looking for a solution. How do you solve the problem?
Yeah. And if you're not willing to do that, just shut up. Because
Yeah,
that's one of my pet peeves. Like,
yeah,
I get
I
really upset.
suppose,
Like
yeah.
I really do. Like it really irks me when people complain. And I'm not
Mm,
saying you shouldn't talk about your problems. What I'm saying is, if you talk about them, it should be with the hope of a solution, or it should be at least presenting it so someone else, if you don't know it,
mm.
will give you a tool or give you
That's
some advice, something. That's the only
that's
reason I
it.
feel that you should talk about a problem is to find a solution. And I guess that's just a pet peeve of mine because when I tell you I get angry or upset,
Mm,
dude,
yeah.
I told people
Yeah.
like, look, man, just shut the fuck up. Like I don't even want to hear it because you keep telling me the same thing over and over,
Mm.
and I'm asking you what will make you feel better or what. I'm trying to find a solution, but no, you just want to complain. You want me to take your side to make you feel better.
You
That's
want
not going
some
to,
attention. You want some attention and some sympathy.
yeah, that's not going to solve nothing.
But
Sympathy
you
and
can
attention, that don't
you
solve nothing.
no, and you can only rely on the sympathy of somebody for so long before they get sick and tired of hearing your bullshit.
Yeah. So
Change it. If the way that you're doing things always results in the same outcome and you still have the same problem, I don't know, change your thinking.
and you know what? I'm not saying this neither because I know I sounded like an asshole right there, but I'm not saying because some people like some things that people go through it affect them for a long time.
Yeah.
So one conversation ain't gonna be the answer. You're not gonna find an answer in one conversation. But I'm not talking about the people who are trying and
Mm,
looking to solve a problem. I'm talking about the ones who just want to complain. You
yeah.
got people, like I said, some situations it takes time as a process, and you gonna need multiple and an abundance amount of talks to get through it.
Mm,
That's totally understandable because if we having a conversation about something and we find a tool, you go back and use it, and that's not effective. Okay, yeah, we can keep talking about it till we find something that work. I'm totally
yeah.
open to that, but it's times where people just want to complain and they're not seeking a solution at all. They're literally, like you said, seeking attention um,
Mm,
and sympathy, and that irks me. That irks
yeah.
me. That in itself is like, why even talk about it?
Mm,
That's like that's in my opinion. Just like over here in America, we always talk about um, the black effect, you know, what black
yeah.
people going through. And a lot of people just complain and they don't look for no solutions to fix it. That irks me. The whole when it's people actually on this app giving um, a whole bunch of different information to better the experience. And instead of that, you just rather go into a chat to bitch and complain about it. Oh, this happened, this happened, this happened. Okay, how do we prevent it
Yes.
from happening again? How do you prevent the next George Floyd from being choked out by a cop? Let's talk about it.
And
That those are the
it's
conversations I want to have.
and it's hard to come to an actual consensus though, because you have millions of different minds
Yeah.
and different thoughts and different experiences, and everybody's coming to the one conversation with those different experiences and perspectives. So it's really hard to get everybody on the same page, let alone have the same, want the same outcome.
And I made a video for a solution for that too.
Oh,
Yeah, we got
okay, cool.
that. And see, that's what I'm saying. It's like having these conversations. Like if people really want to change, let's try some things. That's how.
Mm,
Okay, let's try it. Like when I said about this whole YouTube thing, I can wait for the perfect time, the perfect situation, or I can jump in the water and start it. So instead of having all these complaining rallies, let's just start solid. Let's jump in the water and let's start trying different things. Because then is momentum. You're actually doing something. Is and okay, if it don't work, okay, that don't work. Let's go to the next one. Let's go to the next one. That's how I look at things.
yeah,
Instead of just sitting waiting for the perfect opportunity and the perfect situation. There ain't nothing ever be perfect. We always say nothing in life is perfect, but we wait,
yeah.
but we wait for the perfect opportunities to do things. Like that don't,
Mm.
yeah, that don't make sense.
And on a personal level, like for me, because I do uh, sort of self-reflect all the time, and I'm absolutely quite aware of my faults and my failings, so to speak, and how these things, my growing up has affected who I am now. And it's not that I complain all the time. It might seem like I'm complaining, but I'm
No, it's,
looking for, because I'm so self-aware, and I don't think that I'm stupid. I just don't know how to solve my own problems. I don't know how to, dissolve the trauma ball, so to speak. Um, and so I kind of reach out, and like with you, and you're teaching me kind of, yeah, what I can do, and that's wonderful. I've been wanting these tools, and trust me, I've been to therapists, I've been to doctors, I've done my own studies, I've read books upon books upon books, and nothing has seemed to work for me. So
and
it's
see,
like, well,
that's,
now, pardon?
I was about to say, no, you're not complaining. You're actively seeking, and you're trying. That's what I'm saying. You're trying different things. That's not complaining at all. You're building momentum. You go get up that hill soon. I got a feeling you gonna get up that
I
hill soon.
I think that I believe that I will. I felt it for a while, because coming back to the whole good versus evil thing, I've done a lot of shadow work uh, on myself, and sort of trying to, rather than expel the things uh, that I would look at as bad in myself, or dark, trying to integrate it so that it's on some sort of balance with the light aspect of myself.
Embrace it.
Um, yeah.
Embrace your darkness.
So now that it's become, um, to coin Dexter, it's become my dark passenger. So it
Yeah.
sits with me and it rides along with me all the time. And I'm very aware of it. But it rarely it comes out in a horrid self-destructive way these days, if you know what I mean. We're
Yeah.
in symbiosis.
And you know what? Like you said, I had to. It's a part of you, that ain't
Mm,
going nowhere. So I mean, you can try to get it. It's I forgot what was the name of that. It's some hunted doll like these people found, and every time they took it back to where they found it and they got home, it was there again. They couldn't get rid
yeah,
of it. Someone had to willingly take it, and a lot of times that was symbolic to what um, what I was going through personally when I seen that. Because no matter how much I tried to throw away or get rid of that dark portion, it was always there. So one day I engulfed myself in it. I embraced it, and I realized it was a part of me. And it was
yes.
a part of me that I utilize even to this day. Because when I
Mm-hmm.
go through stuff, I realize like how strong I really am because I made it through this. I was strong enough to make it through that, so now I can make it through this. I embraced it. I use it. I always say I turn my pain into my muscle. You
Yeah.
know, and that's what I did. Um, that's
And
what I
it's
said. Once I
and
forgave.
you still need that dark passenger.
Oh yeah,
Um, occasionally, it might need to come out to solve a problem
yeah,
because
and
the light part of you can't
can't solve
solve.
it. And see, that's why it's so important. That's why I tell people I'm humble because the situation and environment allows me to be. But
Mm,
uh, please allow me to stay like that because I do have another side, and it's probably worse than what most average think about this.
mm,
The way I present myself, the humility that I display. Um, Imagine if I use the other side, how profound that'll be. Also, I
mm.
mean, that's the easiest way I can say it because I was living in that for a period of time. And like I said, I'm not proud of anything that I did, but at the same time, it was necessary for me to understand.
But you're not going to chastise yourself any further,
No, 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 no.
or
I'm
keep
done with that.
yourself in a state of shame.
No, I'm done with that. Look, like I said, what happened,
Yeah.
it happened. It ain't nothing I can do about it. And if it happened, it
Mm-hmm.
happened. I learned from it, and the things that I learned helped me become the person I am today. Without going through those things, I would never understand. Um,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, I had to go through that to understand what I didn't want. I had to define what I want by experiencing what I didn't want.
Yeah.
So that's how I look at that too. All the pain and the struggle that I went through
Mm-hmm.
defined, gave me a clear vision of what I actually wanted in life and how I wanted to be. Like for me, success is, my family. This me being
Yeah.
successful. Me being a good husband, a good father. The best husband I can be, the best father I can be. That's success for me. Some
Yeah.
people think it's money or jewelry, or to
Mm.
me, none of that stuff matter. Not if I don't got my family. Um, so that's what success to me is having my wife and my kids, happy. We comfortable. We live a good life. You
Yeah.
know, that's success to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And how beautiful is that?
It's it's the only thing we ain't got is the Victorian home. I promised my wife a Victorian home, so um,
Ah,
that's my next step. She love Victorian
okay.
home.
Mm-hmm.
So
All
once
right.
I do that, then I'm done. I can sit on the porch, the wraparound porch, and drink me some iced tea in a rocking chair and watch the kids play in the yard. You know,
Yeah. And when you do, put the kettle on because I'm coming. I'm gonna have a cuppa with you.
I
on your
love loose
porch.
tea. I love loose tea.
Me
So yeah,
too.
I
It's
have a
nothing
kettle.
finer than a pot of tea.
I know. And
Hmm.
see, life, you know, life got a lot of darkness to it, but unfortunately, we focus more on the darkness than the light, and
But
that's what I'm
that's,
trying to get to. You know,
but you
especially with the channel.
understand that, sorry to interrupt,
No, you go.
you understand that, that's part of an agenda that the media pushes.
Oh
That
yeah.
let's take away the hope that all these people have. Let's just shine nothing but misery, destruction, war, fighting, pain. Let's just
Yep.
show them, and it keeps us all down in this
Hmm.
horrible little place where it's just dark and cold, and we're all alone and we're all struggling. Except what I think that, and I've said this before, we missed quite an opportunity for revolution and change during COVID.
Hmm.
Instead, we just sort of sat there and took what they were telling us, um, as fact, or most of us. Um, I mean, I just thought it was a whole heap of bullshit. I'm like, no, over my dead body, are you giving me that shit? No, sorry, sir, but no can do. And I'm going to have to be violent with you if you want to put that on my children.
And see, that's where I was at because I didn't take it, and
Neither did I.
so I'm a rebel. I'm a
Hmm.
revolutionary,
Yeah,
and I
me
just
too,
felt,
baby.
you know, just working in the hospital for the amount of time that I did, I just understood that it takes time for vaccines to be developed, and
Yes.
I wasn't doing it, and
No.
unfortunately, you know, my wife had to, so. And I'm watching
Oh.
her, but they wanted my blood. Like they tested me for it. I kept testing negative, but when they did a blood
Mm.
test, they
Mm.
seen I had antibodies. And they
Ah.
was like, "Oh, we want to draw your blood and test." I said, "You ain't taking nothing from me, because
Mm.
if I'm part of the cure, you gonna come kidnap me at night, put me in some lab, hang me upside down, and drain me of my blood. So no, I'm okay."
Yeah. We'll find the word exsanguinated
Right.
in some back room in a hospital basement.
Yeah, that's why
Uh,
I was straight. Oh,
and I know it sounds all very conspiratorial, blah blah blah. Um, but it just, look, my critical thinking part of the brain said, okay, I've had immunizations before, but these were ones that, years went into developing them, and there were that many trials, etc.
right.
This one, immediately my hackles went up because it comes out, what's a few months after this freaking COVID comes out, and you you were literally given a form that said that you wouldn't try and sue the government if, I don't know, if you grew a third eye.
No.
And I'm like, well, I've never had that before. No, 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 no. It's not going to happen. I refuse to take this. So I'll just do what I know I'm good at, and that's social distancing.
Right.
I'll just social distance the hell out of existence. I'll stay up here and I'll hang out with my dog and my children, and my plants, and I'll be happy. And it worked. It worked for me. But I'm
Yeah.
not going to, Norm, I'm not going to shame or fight people that took it.
No, no. And because I mean, I understood. Like I said, my wife took it. My wife took it. My mom took it. I believe my sisters took it. But it's
Mhm.
like, no, I'm straight. I mean,
Mhm.
no, I'm not doing it. I'm a rebel. You know, I'm a Taurus too. So I'm stubborn as hell. So when it's something I don't want to do, I'm just not gonna do it, and I'm not talking about it. It's just not
Abs-
gonna happen. Like
I'm
they
much
said,
the same.
they're gonna come to your house, and they
Mhm.
don't want to come to my house. I got too much stuff in my house. I got
Yeah.
butter knives, screwdrivers, screws. Everything is a
Yeah.
weapon. Like everything,
That's
cords,
my thought
keys.
process. Everything is a weapon if you're game
Hmm.
enough.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hey, I use a spoon quick. Don't think I
Yeah.
won't.
Yes.
I start scooping. I mean,
I will
hey,
scoop your motherfucking kidney out.
exactly. Like, hey, I bet you ain't know your belly button could do this. Like, I'm
Right?
telling you. Like, nah. But yeah, it's life is like I said, it's beautiful. It's dark and light, but um,
Yes.
we here for a limited time. So while I'm here, before I leave here, I just want to help people. You know, ultimately, I guess that's how I want to leave my mark. Um,
Well, whatever
help
you
people.
do and wherever you go, I can say that with 100% conviction that you have had an impact on me. And at a very dark, hopeless time, you were there and you reached out a hand and you held mine, even though, it wasn't a physical thing. I just felt you with me. And that was, that meant the world to me. So
I,
you
I,
can, whatever happens, you can say, I saved somebody's life.
and I appreciate that. That's how every time you say it, I'm humble. I truly am because um, I just hope that uh, like my intention is always good. I always try to speak with positivity, hoping that I can positively affect someone. And you
Mhm.
telling me that I did that for you, like I said, it's humbling. It truly is. It truly is. It just feel like I am fulfilling what the Creator sent me here to do, and I think that's one of the greatest feelings um, that I have is fulfilling what the Creator designed me to do. And for a
Mhm.
long time, I was doing the opposite, and I think that's why it's so profound to me because um, I didn't know when I was younger. I always had a feeling. I always wanted to do right. Always wanted to be right, but the conditions and situations a lot of times didn't allow me. And once I understood that I need to change those things, um, I didn't think. I thought it was too late. I thought I did too much harm to ever do good. Like you said, you feel bad or ashamed. And that was the whole process I had to go through also to understand
Mhm.
that. And now that I'm in a phase that I am in my life, um, I'm just focused on helping. That's all I'm focused on. My safety and the prosperity of my family, and helping other people. Connecting with other people. Like it's a lot of things to say. Like even friendship, right?
Yeah.
Like people, we've been hurt so much in life
Mhm.
that we don't trust people. We don't want to let
Yes.
people close because we don't know who people are, who the right people are.
Well,
But
you just always view people as as having nefarious um, agendas,
Hmm.
motives.
And like what Nate created, like, you know, if it wasn't for Nate's room, you know, I wouldn't have found you. I wouldn't have found Craig. You
And
know, Pops.
likewise,
You know, there's a lot of good people. So everything that people said about not being able to come together and be cool with people,
mm,
Nate created the perfect environment for that to happen. And look at us, you
I
know.
know.
And everybody always say, you know, everything start off good and things happen, but I don't feel that. You know, I really don't. I feel like it's something being built, something being
There's,
created that's
I,
defined in logic.
yeah, I feel, I feel a positivity bubble, and it's
Yeah,
kind of moving. I don't know. It's moving through us all. Again, it sounds hippie, trippy, whatever. But it's a there's a real movement, a shift
yeah,
towards you know um, speaking goodness and positivity and supporting each other, learning. It's a real growth thing. It's like
yeah.
I feel like some sort of lizard, and I'm not a lizard person, no. But like, and I'm shedding my skin,
Yeah.
and with that is renewal and growth. And now it's just finding a path to go down with all the good that I'm feeling to help others and to put something of worth out into the world.
And see, I'm gonna clip a lot of stuff you say because I like your analogies. You know, you gotta shed that skin.
Hmm.
You know, yeah, I like your analogies.
Thank you.
But yeah. So yeah, we've been on here. We've been rocking for three
I
hours.
know.
I didn't even
I
know.
know.
But yeah, let me jump off here. I gotta feed the
Go
baby real quick.
go be with your beautiful family. And as always, I just appreciate you, and I'm grateful that you're here sharing the universe with me. And
Uh,
just yeah, thank you to everyone that listened.
Appreciate you all, and I appreciate you, Platt, just for, like I said, coming up here having these conversations and being receptive. You know, that's the thing. You know, um, a lot of people ain't receptive to, you know, conversations like this, and I appreciate you just being receptive and being offering too. You know, not only are you willing to receive, you willing to give. Like I said, I when I get the time, I'm gonna sit back and clip a lot of your sayings, and I'm gonna make shorts out of them.
Okay, well, you're quite welcome. It's I give and I receive, and likewise, we just yeah, that's what we do.
A
And
proper exchange of energy. This is how it's supposed to work, and
mhm,
hopefully, you know what we doing is a foundation to show other people it can be done. Maybe we can restore some light. We can shed some more light into some of the darkness that even this YouTube platform has. You
we
know, it,
absolutely can, and we shall. It's happening already. I can
yeah,
feel it.
I can too because I mean, it's more and more people, different people becoming, you know, coming into Nate's chat, you know,
Hmm.
coming through here, you know, showing love. Is more and more different people, and you know, positivity rub off on people just like like negativity too. A lot of times people come in places and hear positive words. You know, they
Yes.
might be chilling in the bushes, but they still getting it, and eventually they come in and type something, and
Hmm.
you know, everyone is welcome. You know, everyone is welcome here. You can say hello. Um, This is like Planet Fitness, no judgment zone. Like we come in
Well,
here and we build.
if I'm allowed up, then, if I'm allowed in here, then everybody is.
Hey, if they let me have a platform,
That's true.
if they let me come up here and talk, then everybody allowed. But that's what we do here. Everybody got a pass. I don't judge past.
Neither do
I
I.
look at people for who they are today. Even if you did something yesterday, as long as you moving forward and trying to become a better person, it
That's
don't matter
right.
what you did yesterday. It's focus on today.
Mm-hmm. Well, go be with your beautiful family.
Uh,
Lots of love to them. And again, appreciate you, bro. You're you're awesome.
I appreciate you, Platt. And I try to be here every night. And I
Yeah,
enjoy these conversations. I do. Like I said, you helping me just as much as you feel I'm helping you. Um, so yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. I don't know what. Maybe I want to start doing something fun. I don't know what it is,
okay.
but
All
um,
right. Well,
yeah,
think on
I'm
it.
a,
I know you
yeah,
will.
yeah, I'm gonna think on it. You see, I can
Okay.
come on here all day and tell jokes about myself. I can do that, and that's fun to me.
Me
Like
too.
so I wanted to bring a couple of my cousins on here one day,
Mm-hmm.
and we just go at each other because it's all fun. Like we don't
Oh,
say
sweet.
nothing to, but like that's all we do is crack all day. My whole family, like my sister, she probably fell asleep watching, but me and her, we crack all day. Every chance we get, me and my mama, any chance I
That's
get to
great.
joke with my mama, I do it. I take it. So
Oh,
we
I'll
we
join
we do
in.
the yeah, we do the roasting in a good way,
Yeah.
where everybody enjoying it. We don't try to assault nobody or nothing like that. Ain't fun to me,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah.
Um, so maybe I'll do that. Like my wife wanna start like a paranormal night. Um,
Ooh, okay.
so I'm just waiting for her to muster up the confidence to come on here. But there's a couple
As
stories
I
because
I
we
keep
go.
saying, if I can do it, so can she.
Because we actually go ghost hunting. Well, we used to
Oh,
before we
wow.
had the kids. Yeah, we used to travel around the U.S. and go to different places
Ooh.
like Gettysburg. We went on our honeymoon. We went to one of the largest haunted sanitariums. I bought her little ghost kit and stuff.
Oh. Do you have
Yeah,
videos on that?
yeah. But I had an experience, and I didn't know I had it.
Mm.
I thought, like, when I walked out, then I felt everything. Like, oh no, I'm not going back in there. Like, like no. But we went to like some haunted caves down in Kentucky too. New Orleans. We go down to NOLA all the time. Um, so yeah, we got some cool stories that she want to tell. She got some pictures before she met me and when she met me. So I'm gonna try to start that series and get her on here. Um, but yeah, it's other stuff I want to do because I know sometimes these conversations. Um, I just want to like Nate got the music night. He talk in the morning and he come back at night. So um, I want to do something like I ain't gonna do the music, but I want to do something fun that people can engage and have fun with. So I'm gonna think of something.
That sounds great. All right, cool. Sign me up.
Yeah, I'm actually
And on that note, I'll leave you to do your family thing.
alrighty. Thanks again, and I appreciate you coming up having this conversation, keeping me going for 3 hours.
No,
I didn't even know
no,
it was 3 hours. I appreciate that. It was great dialogue as always. I feel like when people listening to it, they can take some of the tools that we gave them. Take
hopefully.
some of the perspective of the ideology.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, more.
Hopefully. All right, bro. Well, I'll talk to you later. See you
All right,
tomorrow.
talk to you later.
All right, bye.
Bye bye. All right, good people. I appreciate y'all rocking with me. Really do. I really appreciate it. For any questions you might have, if you got any more insight, any more tools to add to the box, you can put it in the comment. You can email me. My email scrolling on the bottom. Um, but yeah, that's all I got for y'all. Like I said, I appreciate y'all rocking out with me. Y'all support me. It means a lot. It really do. Um, I always appreciate the quality. You know, it's not about the quantity. It's more about the quality. I'd rather have the right people than a whole bunch of wrong people. So that's why I say I greatly appreciate y'all for taking the time to view my content and to listen to what I got to say. But do me a favor. It means a lot to me, and it's free to you. Just hit the like for me. And if you're new, hit the subscribe. And if I say anything to resonate with you, do me a favor. Share it. Help me spread the word. But that's all I got. Y'all take it easy, man.